you, and you can tell when a woman's just being friendly.
Yeah, I heard she was into Beetlejuice too. I heard she came on to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, right.
You know how I know she wasn't interested with John? We sat with her for 2 hours, and they were talking about their kids a lot. That's a way you know.
Yeah, that's how you get in.
Hey, I should make I don't mean to interrupt the fun, but this is a breaking news story, a serious news story.
What?
A plane has crashed, hold it, into the World Trade Center.
You're kidding!
The World Trade Center is on fire, which is
What is going on?
Really? Let me look out my window.
It's the tallest.
Just heard you say that John made out with Pamela Lee.
Look out the window. You can see it, or you can.
I don't see any fire.
There's a fire at the World Trade
It's on
Center.
the
Hold
other
on, let me go.
side, Ralph, from you.
Take a look, seriously.
Holy crap!
That's
Howard,
terrible.
I was just there. I was at a wedding right there.
Was it like one of those private planes?
Thank God you're alive.
Oh, dude!
You see it?
Dude, it's that's hot. Oh, my God. I got to go out on my roof. This is incredible.
See ya.
The whole thing is on fire.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, not a little fire.
No, it's huge.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
If a
All
plane
right.
hits a building.
I gotta run.
How did that take so long to happen?
I'll call you back.
Right,
Did-
but
did
I
you-
know.
did
I'm
you-
always amazed.
Because, a plane once crashed in the 40s. A plane crashed right into the Empire State Building, right in.
Right.
What kind
But
of plane?
what kind of plane? Was it a private, stupid plane?
I don't have any more details. I'm following this story.
I hope this wasn't one of those, terrorist kamikaze attacks.
You know what? He's preparing to
Let's get back to you and Pamela.
sit in on for Dan Rather. That's why he's being very serious.
Yes.
Taking over
This is
that
my
slot.
audition. We go now to Sandra Rodriguez, who is on the site at the World Trade Center.
Hello.
Sandra? Hello, Howard. The fire is going very rapidly. Yeah, I'm going to be taking over Dan Rather when he retires. Hey, Howard. But it's a very serious story. I mean, I'm sure there's... but fortunately, it's early in the morning. Maybe not too many people are in the building.
Yeah, hope not.
You know what? That's a financial building. Those people get in really early.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. It's like
For
7
the international market.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they do there, though?
I'm not sure if the plane is... Like, a portion of the plane isn't actually stuck
Yeah,
into the
something-
building.
It looks like something's
Where?
hanging out there.
You
Doesn't
see on the left-hand side of your screen?
Yeah. I got you.
I don't know if you can see it.
it? Good Lord.
Let me see.
Oh, they just pulled back for you.
Yeah,
You see that?
Is that a helicopter?
I think it's a helicopter that's hovering around to see what's going on.
No, I see what he's saying. The
Yeah,
one,
right up
okay.
there.
It's a piece of the plane hanging off the building. Oh, I don't know if that's smoke or a piece of the
Can't
plane.
really tell.
Dude, it's really smoking, man.
Yeah. Huge fire.
It's like Towering Inferno, because once it gets
Yeah.
started, what happens?
Imagine
I
being
hope they
trapped in
built
there.
it better than that hotel.
Well, how are they going to get? They're not going to get hoses up there. They're going to have to rely on the sprinkler
Sprinklers
system.
and all that?
Yeah,
And you know how well they work in the
Yeah, but
city.
the stairwells are all.
You can't drag a hose up there? Wow.
Don't they have a ladder that goes that high?
I don't even know how you begin to fight that fire.
Sand.
What do you want to know about Pam?
Okay, so then you're.
So we were hanging out.
Hold on, wait.
We were at Scores.
You're kissing her at that.
It wasn't like a big makeout. It wasn't like that.
But she wasn't pushing you away either.
Nah, she was just being a little bit playful, but...
So
Did you feel her breasts?
What?
Did you feel her breasts? Be honest. Come on. Did you feel?
You know, the guys on the truth, I don't remember.
That's a yes.
I don't remember.
No, you would remember if you
I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did.
Like, did you pull her butt close?
I felt her butt.
How then do you not close?
You were just inches
You
away.
closed.
You were inches away from the big
You
Y.
banged it.
What?
You were inches away.
I
think
did not.
he did it?
No, I didn't.
think he banged
I never banged Pam Anderson. Never.
Did you? Okay.
Swear in your kid's
Do I have to go
life.
through the whole list?
I swear on my kids' life.
Did you get hand relief from Pam Anderson?
Does
No.
he have his fingers crossed?
No,
when
I
he's
told you what I
swearing?
did. I'm being honest. Pam, I think, would admit to this. I'm not telling anything out of school.
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
Sorry?
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
Like, did you initiate it or did she?
She did.
How'd she kiss?
Oh, you idiot!
You weren't there. You don't even. Well, actually, you were there. You don't even know that.
You're such an idiot!
Why are you shaking your...
I've never called you an idiot, and believe me, there's some cause for it. You weren't there. I know how to assess a woman's situation.
there.
I was not there. I
You
was
had the
far
winning. You
from
know what
there.
you did? You had the winning lottery ticket. You threw it away.
I invited her back to my place, and she
No, you
wanted
did.
to go to a club.
You didn't invite her back to your place.
I did.
You
I
told-
was there.
You just said you told her where you would be.
I'm
Wanted a little
telling you,
foreplay,
I said,
Howard.
hey, maybe we should all go somewhere. And when a girl could take that and say, okay, let's go. But she was like, nah, I want to stay with my friends.
you
She
didn't
wanted
nudge
a
it.
little
No,
foreplay.
no.
You
She
go back.
wanted to go out to the club with you, drink if you wanted.
Whatever. Whatever. I didn't have time to
You
work
didn't
it.
have time to work it that
I'm not going to
much.
sit. And want to know the truth? I wasn't going to sit there and work it all night. I wasn't going to put in the time.
How'd she kiss, by the way?
It was fine. It was a peck. It was nothing. It
No
wasn't
tongues.
No, it wasn't anything serious.
I
was
take back
nothing
my
serious.
idiot.
Yeah, it's nothing. It was nothing serious. Believe me, if I saw the glimmer of hope, if I saw the second of any kind of opportunity, I would seize it. I never turn down
That sounds like a Ganji story, though, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not.
You know what a good litmus test is? When you when you kiss a girl, and if she touches you when you kiss her,
there was no touching. It was very playful.
She wasn't touching you?
But if she doesn't touch you, you get nothing. That's how
listen,
it works.
I know the difference when someone...
Was she sitting on your lap
No.
at this time?
No.
Where was she?
She couldn't sit on my lap. Natalie was on my lap. And she got a little jealous, that's all.
And so she leaned over and started kissing.
She gave me a kiss.
Howard.
But it was not leaving a tongue. It was nothing.
Oh, dude.
Go ahead, Tom.
Howard, you got to watch your monitor. They're going to play back. There was just an explosion.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, no.
This is what happened, Tom? What do you know?
I mean, all I know is that apparently a plane. I've heard Channel 2 describe it as a. It looked like someone was driving a drunk driver driving a car, flew into the building.
Was it a terrorist attack?
Look at that!
Unbelievable. I mean,
That's a huge hole.
To see what's going on at the World Trade Center, and about there's
wow,
an
look at
explosion that just happened in 20 seconds.
It's even lower now, the explosion.
Looks like a movie.
It is. Yeah, it does. It looks like a movie special effect.
I'm telling you, it's Pam Anderson's jet.
Oh, stop.
Finny, what are you talking about?
I'm not trying to be making a...
This is not even a joke.
Wait, hold on. Is the other one catching fire now?
Gene Simmons is
No. What was the Gene Simmons thing?
Gene Simmons blew up.
Wait a second. Let me see that again.
Pull that up again.
Is it in both buildings?
Does it look like? Yeah, it looks like the other buildings on
Watch this explode.
caught now.
Well, yeah, this is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Are there people in the building? There's got to be people in the building.
No, but I mean, I don't know who said it was Gary or John, but you're right. I mean, how does the fire department deal with this?
I don't know.
Well, they said emergency crews are rushing to the scene.
That's a hole like the Oklahoma City hole in a building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
There it is. There it is.
That's a hard...
That's flames, man.
See,
That
that's
really
the second
does
building. So
Oh my God.
No.
because the one on the
Second building's on fire.
That's right. The one on the right has a hole in
Has
it.
a hole in it. The other one's the one that
No, I think it was the
exploded.
back.
That's a
I think it was the back
reflection.
side of the first building.
That's a reflection.
At least I hope it was.
I do too.
So anyway, Pam Anderson.
There was just a rumor. Somebody just called and said that on CNN. A second plane just crashed into one of
Stop it.
A second plane.
Wait
Two
a
different
minute.
buildings.
There
Look at that,
are
Howard,
two buildings,
building.
and that is lower.
That's what I
So
said.
it's a terrorist attack,
No,
isn't
they
it?
just that's what
know
they're
it.
saying.
It's got to
It's got to be.
Somebody just called in
Oh,
with that.
my
Oh
goodness.
no.
A second plane might have crashed, and a second building is on fire.
Why does everyone go to the World Trade Center?
What do they do there?
It's a big
most prominent
target.
landmark in New York.
Well, it's the biggest landmark in New York, really, isn't it?
Next to
It's
Gary
the
Stevens.
tallest.
Oh my God.
And it's a place where people can be killed. Like, you can't take down the Statue of Liberty. Nobody's going to be killed there. Hey, maybe I should put the sound on.
Yeah. I mean, we got Channel 2.
Yeah, give me some sound.
What's all that stuff?
Hold on,
Is it, that's flying in the air. You see
That
that?
looks
Howard?
like papers or something.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of debris and stuff.
And this will be a good opportunity for me to act like Dan Rather.
Yes, you can practice.
Because I'm gonna be
when
the-
they call.
Does this scare you?
Yes, yes, it does scare me. We're totally too lax in this country. Trying to tell you. Tell me if you're ready.
Would you see that movie Swordfish, Howard?
Now at the scene, we should tell you that approximately 40,000 people work in the World Trade Centers between the two towers.
Look at
Each building 110 stories tall. And joining us now on the phone again is John McLennan. He works at 200.
I hope it's not Captain Jenks.
And has witnessed some of this unfold.
As have we, just before 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Hello? Just before, John, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, and an unbelievable event happened, catastrophic event. A plane crashed into the World Trade Center Tower number 1. Not more than 3 minutes ago, a second explosion happened at Tower number 2. We're being told that it could have been another plane, although what we saw was just an explosion. And again, Michael, you said 40,000 people work at World Trade Center. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're efforting. Reporters on the scene are trying to get down there. Marcella Palmer, namely, as many others that we have called in and heading down there. We're trying to get people who have been eyewitnesses to this to call us so that we can hear what they know and what they've seen. We're hearing that it could have been a Boeing 737 or an Airbus from one of our witnesses.
So it was two planes?
We're not still sure.
So you think it was two planes?
Exactly caused
They're not
that
sure.
explosion on the second World Trade Center tower.
They don't know.
But if it was one of those size planes, those are huge jets.
We have no confirmation on the injuries, as Lisa mentioned. We have no knowledge as to how many people involved. However, Our producers are telling us now that we do have some videotape of the second plane, and you can see it there.
Where? I didn't see it.
Here,
Oh, whoa.
Oh, my
This is
God.
crazy. We
We're
got
under
planes
attack.
going into buildings.
And from our vantage point, yeah, clearly difficult to tell.
We're under attack.
What type of plane that is, but it's a horrific scene.
That's
And
All right, we've just been told also, Michael, sorry, the New York Stock Exchange is being evacuated, as is, I'm sure, much of Wall Street, if not all of it, as much as possible. But the New York Stock Exchange has suspended trading for the moment.
war.
As
Come on.
Everyone tries to
All
get
right,
out
we
of
gotta
the
Japanese.
area. We
It's
did
Japanese.
This is Pearl Harbor.
Right, we gotta go bomb everything over there now.
We got to bomb the hell out of them. You know who it is. I can't say, but I know who it
As
is.
soon as we get
That's
it,
crazy.
This is more upsetting than me not getting Pam Anderson. What is that, Tom?
There it is. There it is. Yep, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going into
What are you saying, Tom?
I've never seen anything like, obviously.
Me neither.
I mean,
Nobody's ever seen anything like that.
Oh my God.
So that's a suicide mission.
Yeah, suicide mission.
They're doing it over here now.
we can't put words in the FAA's mouth or with any flight.
I know who's doing it.
Tower information.
There's no way
But
a
you're seeing what we're
737
seeing,
would do that.
And on a what seemingly is a relatively clear New York day,
Yeah.
2 plane impacts. One you just witnessed there, saw on tape.
It's a suicide mission.
Yeah.
We're at war.
Look at that.
Who are we at war with?
Before 9, the second one.
Is this our Chopper 2 picture?
Not long after 9. Yeah, this is I believe, picture from Chopper 2.
That's
Jim Smith, are you up there?
Yes, we are, Michael and Lisa. We have been forced to stay about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center. A flight restriction has been put in place, but right now we are looking at live pictures. The tower on the left, that is tower number 1. And we can tell you that we can still see the flames and smoke coming out of that, as well as the tower to the right. That is tower number 2. You can see the damage to that about the middle of the building. Just incredible what we are witnessing here from about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center.
Jim, I don't know if you were able to see the videotape that we showed moments ago, and if you have any information at all as to what type of plane and what carrier may be involved.
Well, we did not have that as of yet, Michael. Unfortunately, we were unable to see.
The attacks occurred 18 minutes apart.
Baker is right now talking with air traffic control. We're trying to determine what exactly happened here, what type of plane, to be exact, was involved here, as well as the carrier involved.
We're showing people again that videotape that was shot just moments ago of
Holy
that second
cow.
plane making impact into the second of the trade centers. Again, both 110 stories tall, 40,000 people working between.
Dominic is on the phone. He seems to want to say something. Yes, Dominic. Oh, he's gone. What is it, Joey Boots?
Howard, hey, I'm down on West 4th Street. We heard the first explosion. We went outside. We're watching the smoke come out. There's a hole in the side of the building. All of a sudden, maybe, 10 minutes later, there was another plane flying around, and that disappeared into the building also, and you had like a third explosion after that.
How big did that plane look?
The second plane was a decent-sized plane. It looked like it would hold maybe 50, 60 people.
Really?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Like, we're looking on TV, and the World Trade Center is so big that it looks like
I'm
a tiny
looking at
plane.
it from here. You couldn't even believe the sight. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. We heard the first explosion. It rocked my friend's apartment, and he lives West 4th Street, and that's downtown, and we could see the Twin Towers right from here. There's smoke billowing out of the side of the building. There's a hole in the side. Then we saw the other plane flying around after we were out there watching it for a few minutes, and that plane disappeared into the building, and it blew up.
They're flying right into the plane, into the building.
This is them towelhead bastards.
Well, we don't know who it is.
We don't know yet, but I got a feeling.
It could be.
You can't say that, but I can say that. It's about time we take these towelhead bastards and throw them out of the damn country.
Well, don't overreact
We're too
yet.
nice to people,
Let's
man.
find out who it is. We're going to find out. Once I find out,
then we'll get crazy.
Then we'll get crazy.
I got a lot of friends that work in that building. I'm sitting here watching it burning right now.
I know, Joey.
The attack happened, and I just
You know
want to
people
hurt
down there?
somebody now.
You do? I do too.
My father used to work in that building.
Who does?
My father used to work.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we know tons of people down
Mr.
there.
X used to work in that building.
Yeah, I know that.
My wife used to work in that building.
Let's go to Mike, who works in the building next door. Joey Boots, stay on the line. Yeah, Mike.
All right.
Howard, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy over here. It's like chaos. It's like the Armageddon.
Of course.
The first plane we didn't see. But
You ought to get out of your building, dude.
all we saw was fire. Then the second time, we actually saw the plane circle around and then
And
smash
it's a
into the
big
building.
plane.
We're under attack.
Could you see
There are people flying planes into New York City and crashing into buildings.
It's chaos. There's people all over the place.
What did this? You saw the plane?
I saw the second plane.
What did it look like? Did it look like a commercial plane?
No, it looked like maybe one of those Airbus type things, like an MD-80.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Howard, anybody else that's out there listening now that's working at New York City landmarks, take my word, be on the lookout right now, because these guys, they like to do these in multiple numbers.
There could be more coming in.
Out of the bombing, they're going to bomb a whole bunch of sites. Make sure everybody takes watch. And
Where's
the
Air Force? Howard.
The Air Force is stunned. What?
On a more serious note, you're a big pussy. You didn't touch Pamela Anderson.
No, we're back on that. Dude, I'm telling you.
We can talk about that anytime.
Yeah, you can brag on me tomorrow. I'm in the middle of organizing a military action. Thank you.
Like, how do you combat this, though?
Oh, you know how. Reagan stopped them.
No, but I'm saying, I mean...
You go in there and you teach them a lesson.
We know where these people are.
Yeah.
We know exactly where they are. We need to send some cruise missiles over there right now and just start bombing the hell out of them.
Today.
We're always
Right
worried
now.
about the innocent civilians who live around.
You know what? Innocent civilians, so what? They shouldn't be living by these guys, supporting them, all that crap, okay?
How about this? We won't do anything.
What about
we won't do anything. You wait and see.
Trust me, he will.
GW, you better get on the stick.
GW, you listening to this right now. You better bomb the hell out of those towel heads.
Howard, what was the end result of, after the whole World Trade Center bombing and all the trials and everything else, how many guys...
Nothing happened.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Well, some guys went to jail.
Yeah.
Big
Like
deal.
4 guys.
Where's this
OB? Do some strategic
Where's OB Bin Laden or whatever his name is?
We never declared war on.
They tried to get Bin Laden at 3 different places. Remember that?
Oh, come on. We can't get Bin Laden. Then there's something wrong in this world.
Hey, Howard, I just talked to a guy. He just went by with a fire scanner. Said there's multiple casualties.
Of course.
Gotta be.
It's 9 o'clock. Everybody's at work at 9 o'clock. They timed it just perfectly. The opening of the stock market, everybody going to work.
How do they get a plane? I don't know.
Two of them.
2 planes.
How fast it's spreading, Aaron?
2.
Oh, the whole building's going up.
Those buildings are just going to be, they're like matchboxes now.
Yeah, but everybody
let me go back to the news report for a second. Let's hear what's on the news.
That was planned by a terrorist group, or it can be just that the air traffic control system completely crashed. This is going to take a lot of investigating.
The air traffic control system.
All I can think of is like a crazy air traffic control.
See, they're not allowed.
Hold it. Visually, no, it's a clear day in New York. There's no way 2 planes crash into the World Trade Center.
They're a legitimate news organization. They're not allowed to say what we're thinking, which is obvious.
You know, evaluate some of the injuries. They will.
I see that second plane flying around there. It disappeared, and then there was an explosion.
You know what? Today is primary
I mean, it's pretty sensible to me what happened.
Medical service ambulances are also on alert. Remember, when there was the prior crash, there were 1,000 injuries. So
I can't believe I'm seeing this either.
Today is primary day, Howard, and it also means that we're losing our mayor, Giuliani, and I really think he should declare like something and just stay in office.
He should declare a state of emergency. And
we can't afford to change.
Dude, you see all the stuff falling? They said now debris falling to the street below.
Yeah, anyone in that area ought to get the hell. You guys, are you really a
Those
Joey?
could come down.
Yeah.
No, that's far enough.
He's far enough away.
You're far away.
No, I'm down on I'm West 4th Street. I'm fine. But I'm hearing on the radio they're talking about the plane is inside the building. There's multiple casualties. Howard, these towel heads, I'm telling you, we let them come to this country. They're here illegally, a lot of them. We don't even kick them out.
Well, we're letting everybody in here illegally.
Could the plane have been like loaded with explosives or something? You know?
Sure.
I mean, come on. What would you do if you wanted to bomb something? You'd laid it with
just sticking a plane,
explosives.
Just flying a plane into there would blow up the whole thing.
You know, I don't know how true it is, but I think while we were on vacation, I read in one of the newspapers that they are actually, like honoring the families of these suicide mission guys they have over in.
PLO does that after they blow up an Israeli,
the
town.
family gets compensated.
Yeah, the family is treated like heroes.
Is it Hamas or Hezbollah?
Hamas.
Hamas.
Joey, thanks.
All right, Howard.
Bye-bye.
See, now, shouldn't there be like planes now flying over, dropping water and stuff? Isn't that the only way they're going to like put it out?
Maybe that's how they put out forest fires. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know anything about it.
It's inside the building, though.
At that point, that's like jet
Right.
fuel,
I mean,
electrical.
Yeah.
Hey, wasn't that building like taller than what is that building there? The big building.
Empire State Building.
Oh my God!
Wasn't it taller than it was before? Look how much it's disintegrated.
Oh, you are a
It's in the
nutcase.
foreground.
You know what? You got to go talk to horses in the winter circle.
Oh my God!
You are such a nutcase.
No, I'm serious. You didn't see that?
Howard, how could you live in New York and go, what building is the Empire State Building?
You see that building over there? What is that?
That's the Empire State Building, Casey.
Casey's gonna be like, as long as they don't hit the girl holding the torch.
Right, the girl holding the torch.
Hey, Howard, why's my hand bigger than the World Trade Center?
Yeah, because
They don't look so big.
What? Because it's on TV, dude. Nick, you're on the air.
Is that really why?
Yeah, I just called to tell you that the other guy who called and said it was the towelheads may be wrong. The State Department yesterday issued a terrorist watch for all Americans in Peru due to the extradition of the drug lord Daniel Ochoa to America.
Wow. Well, let's bomb them too.
Let's bomb everyone.
But that's a bad idea. Either that or it was Jackie the Joke Man.
Let's drop A-bombs. Oh.
But you see how it's spreading the building to the right, Howard? It's like it's already going down like the middle of the...
Well, don't forget. I mean, this thing's going to burn. You can't stop that kind of burning. It's going to burn the whole building down.
I mean, it looks like it's the one way. One is 2/3 of the way up. The other's about halfway up.
Yeah.
God knows what it looks like inside. I mean,
110 stories.
Can you imagine being above or above that?
Oh God.
That's a nightmare.
Oh God!
And you know what it's all. You know what happens? The worst thing that happens in these fires,
the heat.
It's the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
It's the smoke inhalation. That's how you die. You just choke to death, which is horrible.
How freaky would that be? That probably won't be part of the skyline of Manhattan anymore.
Oh, stop it.
What do you mean?
We must have that.
Well, you're not going to have it. It's gone.
But how freaky?
Put it back.
What's that stuff that's coming out of it? Smoke.
Black smoke.
Not smoke.
It's called smoke.
The white thing coming all the way down. Is that like a ladder?
More smoke.
Oh, you are so crazy.
It's smoke.
It's a fire.
Look at that flying shark, Casey.
No,
it's fire.
No, the thing that just came out. Do you see what I'm talking about? No.
That's fire.
No, the white thing that just look, see, it's coming down right now. In between the two buildings? Yeah.
What a journalist.
There is something. I can't see. My eyes are so bad.
I think it's smoke from the back of the building.
No, it's white smoke.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, white smoke.
It looks like somebody's moving.
It does.
Might be some
What is that?
That's bigger than a person.
of the building.
Yeah, I think
Looks like somebody climbing down.
Hanging bed sheets, man. I'd do anything to get out of there.
Yeah, what is that?
There's something going on there.
Okay, you need about 2,000 bed sheets.
Now, let me put the sound up. Maybe we'll figure it out.
The radar from Boston to see if there are any unusual flight plans or any unusual planes that show up on the radar screen, and they can trace it back. They can do that pretty quickly, but again, the FBI, possibly even the Secret Service, would be called in on this to try to find out what's going on. Remember, it's a manpower issue. You need to get as many people as possible.
Yeah, it is black smoke.
Smoke from the back of the
billowing.
He's supposed to speak very shortly. He's going to be...
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
I'm watching Fox Network here, and I just saw a thing that said that FBI is almost verified that there has been a hijacking early this morning before the crash.
Really?
Oh, so they hijacked the plane.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
man. There was actually 2 planes.
Yeah, right. 2 planes.
And it's actually ridiculous. Watch it on a film. Actually, watch it on TV now. It's just...
Oh, this is so aggravating.
I don't understand how all of a sudden one day it's beautiful, next minute, no, everything's just ruined. What's that? Oh, here comes the plane right now.
Oh, God.
Second.
Wait,
I am
showing it again?
Yeah, I am speechless.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
What do you say about this?
Can't say anything.
I just feel like nothing will be done. It's just
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
well, you
think
could
there
say-
would be such an outcry that
God.
something has to be done.
They've attacked the United States.
Forget it.
It's war. It's war.
We don't stand for this.
Wasn't there an attack when they on the
World Trade Center?
on the World Trade Center? Why did we never go to war over that?
We didn't have to go to war.
Wait, 'cause this is a plane?
They had all those guys lived in Libya at the time, didn't they, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
And didn't we bomb them? We didn't even declare war. Remember, we had the whole thing about France not letting us fly over their airspace.
Yeah.
We went anyway, and we bombed them.
Yeah, not enough.
And then what happened?
And then they did
stopped.
this for a while. They've been doing all kinds of stuff, and the Israeli
The problem
intelligence.
is you let them build up again.
Israel would take care of the problem for us, but we're now all of a sudden we're worried about how the PLO feels. I mean, let's get real.
I thought that was stupid in the first
Yeah,
place.
let's just get real.
Wow, that's a good sized jet to hit the second time.
Israelis could kill everyone over there. They got the manpower, they got the bomb, they got everything.
Loosen the reins.
Yeah, let them do their thing.
Wow.
Let them do it.
Didn't George W.'s father have the chance to go all the way when we went to
Yeah.
war?
With
To go,
the
just go right in and kick
The Bushes don't have the chutzpah. They don't have the balls.
Notice they didn't do this when Reagan was
No. You need a guy who didn't grow up rich.
Guy who can
A guy like me who will bomb things because he's angry. I love to bomb.
I mean, part of that was you got to remember the UN and the whatever the writs of war that they had said it was to get Iraq out of Kuwait, and that was it.
Yeah, Bush pulled the plug. He had one more day, and he could have finished the whole job.
Oh, no question.
His calculation was that he'd
the
rather
worldwide sentiment would
Yeah.
be against us, blah, blah,
and
blah.
also he'd rather keep that guy in office than have some other guy take over.
Yeah, because the guys behind him supposedly are worse.
Yeah, Dominic, go ahead.
This is no different than Pearl Harbor.
Absolutely.
That's right.
There'll definitely be a war, but you're looking at the wrong country. This comes out of Palestine.
Of course.
Not out of Iraq.
Oh, I don't know. We don't know anything, so.
No,
we didn't say
We didn't say anything about Iraq.
But do you see the way that plane goes into the building?
Yeah, those guys are happy to die for their Allah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Now the
Those are
question
some
is-
crazy people.
Encourage it. Your parents encourage
Well,
your
that's what I say.
sons
How do you
to kill
negotiate
themselves.
with people like that? You can't.
No, it's really, and also the whole argument about whether Israel should be there or not is ridiculous.
And
They're
should
there.
drag Jesse Jackson back here and pummel him for even talking with that
Yeah.
Yasser
Now,
Arafat.
do you think the plane was full of people?
I'm hoping.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
Well, they said if it was a hijack plane, probably it was.
Right,
What do they
right.
care who else is on the plane?
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
KC, that's the Empire State Building.
Hey, thanks, pal. I got that.
Why does it look tall?
But those buildings haven't sunk, Casey.
And Casey, the reason
It's
the
an
Empire
angle.
State Building
Now it
looks
looks
bigger,
shorter.
you're
But
looking
Empire-
at a flat screen and it's closer to you.
No, the Empire State Building's on like 34th Street.
Right.
So this is all the way down there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
there's
that's
my
why I
point.
asked what the building was, because how would you see it in the same picture?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
How did this say things come in threes?
What?
Things come in threes.
Yeah, this is Hank dying.
Hank and this.
Spike.
Hank, Aaliyah, and this.
Hank, Spike, Aaliyah, and this. It's 4. This is pretty awful.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it.
This is the most
just-
Does anyone
catastrophic
else
thing.
kind of feel
Since
like
Pearl Harbor.
you feel inside like almost scared?
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah, and sad.
I am.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for whoever's in that freaking building. If anyone's on, stuck on top, forget it.
That's the weirdest thing about working in this city is that this New York is always
We're a target,
we're always
yeah.
a target.
I know.
Giuliani said that he's made this city terror-free. Less deaths than ever before in any administration.
Well, he
he
meant from
has.
each other.
You're not going to blame him for this.
What does Giuliani get to do with this?
What are you talking about, Dominic?
Well, but the point is that really you have no control of any of this.
Not, yeah,
No,
this
street-
can
you-
happen
You
anywhere.
would have to
talking about
treat
street crime.
everything like the World Trade Center and the Statue of Liberty like a military base. You'd have to put
They
planes around it.
do
and-
already.
But now let me ask you something. Now the World Trade Center has a sprinkler system, right? So that it's not going to be able to.
Well, that ain't going to do
Well,
anything.
that's for regular fires, not an explosion.
This is an airplane driving right into the building.
You know how much fuel is on a plane?
Exactly.
They have no-
Yeah, loaded with jet fuel.
So there's nothing that can be done then.
No, listen, when they build it, they don't plan on planes driving into it. No,
well,
they don't.
This was a movie, would you believe it?
No, I mean, it would be great special effect.
Dude, see, I thought this was going to happen on Y2K. That's why I stayed home. And you should have seen when the fireworks came out. I was having like
You knew. Well, you know what? This is our worst nightmare. You knew this was going to happen one day, and it's happened.
Well, it's because we never settle anything.
You know
That's
what?
right.
I got to tell you.
And we don't face the fact that and I'm not saying it's the Arabs who did this. I don't know yet, but I'm guessing the Arab world has to be taught a lesson that we are the boss, and you are going to be our dogs, and you have got to be spanked.
Will you do me a favor, please?
Yeah.
Will you not be the leader of these thoughts right now?
Yeah, it's true. And I'm not being the leader of the thoughts. I'm saying I don't know who did it yet. It could have even been one of our own people.
Could have been the guy that could have been the Peru guy, like that.
No, it could have
Or it
even
could have
been.
been like the Oklahoma guy.
Yeah, it
It
could have
was
been like one of
American.
our own people. It could have been one of our own people. But you want to know something?
It doesn't. It sure doesn't look like it. It doesn't feel like.
One thing seems
It
like
doesn't feel like it is right.
One thing seems like an isolated incident. Two things seems like a well planned.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
And
People over there aren't thinking rationally.
But it was a
They
hijacking.
never have.
They never have. It's
And to sit down and try to talk to them is crazy.
mostly
how
the
it-
Arab
That's as
countries.
crazy as they are.
The oil-rich Arab companies don't take in the Palestinians. They don't want them. And if this is a case of that, it's time to end the misery for the world.
See, I don't think the airport's checking off anyway. I mean, you can
If somebody hijacks a plane and drives it, how
Yeah, when
how are
they
you
put
going
a
to
gun
prevent
to
that?
your face, you do what they say.
No, I'm saying, how do they get a gun onto the plane?
Plastic guns.
Oh, they got a billion ways.
Nah, they probably got this plane. They could go to a private airport
this
and get a
probably-
plane.
this
I
is
don't
a-
think this is a commercial
not a
airline.
TWA.
Well, it
This is-
depends on what size it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't it strike
The
you guys
second
as,
one was a big plane.
as
Yeah.
odd that there are no choppers circling yet?
I don't think they're letting anybody into the
Yeah, they got to
airspace.
make sure, of
Yeah,
what's
who's
going
who?
on.
Would you chopper up there?
the Channel 2 chopper guy said this. It's a
There's
5
embargo.
mile.
Yeah.
Right.
Down there in the
How about
financial
the stock
district.
market? It's down.
Closed.
It hasn't opened yet. It's closed, but futures 150 points down already.
Of course.
Hold on.
Take
Let's hear this report.
Everything will go over to
Provided by
the.
Chopper 2. The first impact in Tower 1 happening just before 9 o'clock this morning. The second impact that we had shown you videotape of not too
Actually,
long
live
ago.
on our cameras here.
And we were able to provide that image for you. The second impact, though, happening about 18 minutes after the first impact. And here's another look at it
Here's
on
it.
tape.
Yeah.
Hard from our angle to tell what type of plane or to really discern anything from that other than the obvious. So we're continuing to contact the FAA as well as the Port Authority, all airline carriers. We've heard reports that the FBI now investigating possibilities, we want to emphasize, of a possible hijacking and
or suicide mission. That's also a possibility that we're being told is being looked into.
All reports from the Associated Press as well. We understand that George Bush, the president, who was in Florida speaking to children, as
on vacation
a moment ago, when he was notified of what had happened, is scheduled to speak sometime soon. As
he's on the phone to his dad.
He was out speaking to children, which is where
the Associated Press only reporting that the FBI investigating, as is their job, any possible evidence of foul play.
Okay. Of course, it's difficult to find out information because the Port Authority is based at the World Trade Center, and Marcia Kramer's been trying to get in touch with them and get the latest for us. She's got a little bit more info for us from the newsroom. Marcia?
Well, Lisa, there is now word that the Port Authority has closed all their bridges and tunnels coming in and out of the city.
Wow.
What that means is the George Washington Bridge is closed, the Lincoln Tunnel is closed, the Holland Tunnel is closed, and all airports are now closed.
Wow.
That's regarded as a security measure. Remember, when you take a look at the possibility of terrorist attack, our bridges and our airports and our tunnels are regarded as prime targets. So to make sure that there isn't any other further disaster, they are closing all the bridges and tunnels into New York City. So to repeat, the George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln and Holland tunnels are closed. All three area airports, Newark, LaGuardia, and Kennedy airports, are closed. Now, in Washington, the FBI was said to investigating reports around 9 o'clock, just before the first crash, of a plane hijacking. That's something that they're going to have to be looking into to see if the plane that crashed into the first World Trade Center building, Tower 1, was in fact.
We got to be at war, right?
We're waiting for our president to speak.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah, how are they going to figure out who's responsible for this?
Yeah, first you can't declare war until you know who did it.
Yeah. I could think of some people to declare war on, though.
Right, yeah, I mean,
in general.
We can all come up with a list of candidates.
Yeah, we could use this as an excuse.
Exactly. It's not something to do lightly, though.
Coordinated this had to be.
I know. So coordinated. This is,
This is not.
This is what we've all known is going to happen.
We're all saying we've been lucky this hasn't happened before.
It was either going to be the Midtown Tunnel or one of these big targets, and someone was going to blow it up, and now they've done it.
You know, a lot of TV channels are out. Because
the towers are up on the World
Is that right?
Trade Center.
Yes, and there's radio stations up there as well.
The footage of that plane flying into it was pure Jerry Bruckheimer. I mean, it looked like it was straight on.
Yeah, it's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
There's Bush.
You know what's weird?
What's
what Bush is saying.
I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act.
The country.
Terrorism against our nation will not stand.
No, it seems to be.
And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.
Oh, with the prayer. Moment of silence.
You know what I want to hear, Howard?
Yeah.
I want to hear him say, we will find these people. I want him to be angry.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to find these people, and...
You know what I wanted to say? Planes are on the way.
President Bush, who was down in Florida for what was...
You know, you got to remember who his dad was. His dad was the head of the CIA. His dad is a strong, powerful man. His father's going to make sure that things are done.
He didn't do it himself.
Well,
Why didn't he do anything?
Because they were afraid if they got rid of Saddam, who'd come next.
Was that the same CIA that could never get Castro?
You guys can't forget they bombed 3 different places. They tried to get Bin Laden. In fact, we had rockets that hit the Chinese embassy in some.
So why'd we give up?
We got in a lot of trouble for that.
Trouble. Who cares anymore? Let's go.
Can you imagine that we can't find Bin Laden? Can you imagine that?
And you know what? It isn't even Bin Laden. It's the whole frigging country.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Yeah, right.
Why
Dominic,
is
you're
it safe
right.
to be there?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if this could,
Yeah,
obviously
forget Bin Laden.
He's got money.
Time to just literally say we were just attacked.
What country, though? See,
you know who it is.
No,
I'll tell you the countries right off the bat.
We don't. The CIA should.
I'm saying that you listen.
But it's terrorists within those countries, and it is those it's the countries that house the terrorists. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the government is hiding behind those terrorists.
And I'm sure they'll take credit for it anyway.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to take credit for it.
Bush needed to
The
make
government
it.
of those countries hide behind those terrorists.
You know what? We got to wait and see what the deal is.
You can't rush to judgment.
Yeah.
Well, we could.
It's not like Pearl Harbor. We knew who the Japanese were.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they at least announced. We did it.
But Bush could have generalized. He could have made a speech along the lines of that Reagan one from 15 years ago. He said they count on America.
No one's been able to write him a new speech.
I agree with that.
He's afraid to. But Bush is the kind of politician. He's afraid to say something spontaneously. Yeah. He just said, "I'm going to say a prayer."
He doesn't have any spontaneity.
He's got to wait for Cheney to tell him what to say, and he's going to get. I guarantee. I'd bet $10 million right now. He's on the phone to his dad asking him what to do.
Well, you know what? The first thing he said was, "I call the vice president."
Yeah. Because the vice president's in charge. Dick Cheney's running the country. Anybody who doesn't know that is crazy.
And the whole world should have a minute of silence in the middle of this.
Cheney? Does he have a military background, Cheney?
Cheney?
Yeah, he was defense secretary.
Cheney.
No, but originally.
What kind of accent do you have? Cheney.
Cheney. He's talking about his own chins.
The buildings are now buckling, they're saying. That literally...
Of course. I mean, the infrastructure's got to be...
A Boeing 767 from Boston, according to our information partner, CNN. We're not sure which plane that was, if it was the first airplane or the second. Again, looking into the possibility of a hijacking, a possible suicide mission. The FBI on high alert. All bridges, tunnels leading into New York City have been closed.
All three
airports have been closed, all under the command of the Port Authority, which ironically is based at the World Trade Center. Also, the Emergency Command Center that's supposed to be bomb-proof and earthquake-proof is at 7 World Trade Center across the street there. President Bush, as you see on the bottom of your screen, is calling the crashes terrorist attacks, and he is pledging to a full-scale investigation to hunt down and find the people responsible for it. Marcia Kramer, you're in the newsroom. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you now that New York City is going on high alert. It's going into what you would call its terrorist alert. They've established a no-fly zone over all of Manhattan. The Lincoln Holland tunnels have been closed.
How do you enforce a no-fly zone?
You get any plane that comes into the area will be shot down by the Air Force.
Well, you know, the planes are up now. Our planes are all up. Our war planes. They're on full alert.
But see, that's what I was trying to say before, Howard. You'd have to have a military base next to the World Trade Center, right. Everything.
You can't. The only way you protect against terrorism is to be a very strong parent. We're the leaders in the world. We have all the technology to spank these douchebags and fix them for once.
We've been lenient parents.
We're too liberal.
We're trying to let everybody solve their own problems.
When parents are too liberal, the kids get spoiled and they act out.
Just buy the World Trade Center? Seriously.
I don't know who did.
They just confirmed at least one casualty.
Please, there's going to be a lot more than that.
It's going to be a lot more than that. The only saving grace might be that people weren't in the building because it was 9 o'clock, but like as we said, people get into work pretty early around here.
9 o'clock is late for the financial community to get to work. It really is.
Right.
Developed after the bombing of the World Trade Center.
And I disagree with Tom. After the bombing of the World Trade Center, nobody was hunted down.
There was nobody to hunt down.
Well, there was. They
put people on trial.
These aren't
big deal.
These aren't individuals. That's what I'm saying. People.
It's got to be countries. Yeah. Countries have to be held responsible. Let me see. Mayor's emergency bunker located at the World Trade Center.
Every emergency thing is located there.
Protect its bridges and tunnels. The UN, the United Nations, has been evacuated. The stock exchange has been evacuated. These are two of the landmarks in New York City that police and FBI officials have regarded as potential targets of terrorist attack. Again, we have also learned that FBI offices all across the country have been put on high alert for the possibility that there could be terrorist attacks other places in the country. Again, President Bush said that he called it an apparent terrorist attack, but it will take some time for the FBI...
Listen, we let all of these terrorists live in this country. We do.
Did you see that the subways are shut down? It just said
I'm telling you, you won't be able to get home.
This is crazy.
All right, we got to take a break.
Right here.
We're going to take a break, and I think we should just come back. We'll wrap it up. I don't know.
I don't know how to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up. You don't have to wrap it up.
It's just there's no wrap.
I'll find a way to wrap.
I'm going to call my kids. Goodbye.
Whoa. What do you mean you're calling your kids? How dare you?
Kids. Who's more important than us?
You're going to call your kids?
I want to make sure they're all right.
Whoa. Your kids are your kids something to do with the World Trade Center?
No, but just at a moment like this, you want to just worry about it. I feel really bad about it, like all of you.
I think the terrorists are going to avoid Garden City, Dominic.
Yeah, Yeah, I think imagine they're going after Dominic's law offices.
I just have to tell you, I do eat more in moments of fear.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to balloon up.
Yeah, I think he's really going to get something to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you have to go eat. Go ahead.
Already said there was one Danish left.
All right, I have to take a break, and when we come back, I guess we'll close up the show.
Yeah.
Okay, right after these words.
Howard Stern mornings continue in a moment on 97.1 FM Talk that rocks Detroit. 97.1 FM Talk news headlines.
There is a major disaster unfolding in New York City.
It's as if you drew the outline of a single-engine airplane onto the building. It looks like from here that it just plowed right in on a left banking turn.
2 planes have slammed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center complex in New York City. Towering columns of thick black smoke can be seen pouring from the building's upper floors.
I was lying in bed. All of a sudden I heard what sounded like a plane or something coming extremely low, and then we just heard this shattering explosion. I ran up to the roof and confronted by this horror. There's a gaping hole. I can see the south face, and there are flames. There are papers flying out of the windows, black flames. There are flames coming out of multiple floors.
Television pictures show massive columns of thick black smoke pouring from the upper levels of one of the towers. Flames can be seen pouring out of windows 3/4 of a mile way up the skyscrapers. There are explosions visible.
From where I was, I just couldn't tell. All I know is that there was something flying through the air, and then this massive impact. Whether it was a jet, I just don't know.
President Bush has issued an order for all government agencies to unite to investigate an apparent act of terrorism on American soil. 2 planes again have crashed into the World Trade Center towers in New York City. After he made his statement, the president called for a moment of silence. We will return to the Howard Stern Show live in New York for more coverage on 97.1 FM Talk, the talk that rocks Detroit. I'm Bob Bauer.
97.1 FM Talk, WKRK Detroit. Infinity Broadcasting Operations. Talk that rocks Detroit.
At 97.1 FM Talk, we work hard to be a part of our advertisers' success stories. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to what they have to say.
Hi, this is Dave at Katie Outdoors, and we advertise on 97.1. We get positive reinforcement from our ads every day. We have people walking in and telling us they heard us on the radio and stopped by to see what the pros at KD were all about. I think advertising on 97.1 would be good for anybody that wants to increase their sales.
Hi, this is Peter from Earth to Earth. Since I started advertising on 97.1, my sales have gone up at least 30% a year. The staff and salespeople at 97.1 are exceptionally friendly. I've spent years advertising in the local newspapers and the What's Happening magazines, and I've never received as many phone calls as I have advertising on 97.1.
I'm Dan Zako, General Sales Manager. Let us show you how a radio campaign on 97.1 FM Talk can work for your business. Call me at 248-233-3315.
Romani Eye Institute, the best for less. LASIK surgery for $750 per eye. And visit Dr. Romani's website at www.romani.com or call 888-675-5599.
Hello, I'm Michael Jeffries, president of the Yes Network. You've heard about Jerry Weinberg and his very expensive sales training, and no doubt you've heard of Dale Carnegie. They're effective, but they cost a lot. Since 1988, my company's helped over 30,000 professionals to reach their personal and business goals for a fraction of the cost. And our trainers are world-renowned. In fact, we featured America's finest live on stage, including Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, Wayne Dyer, Les Brown, and we continue to bring in the best. How would you like to have a world-class speaker at your next staff meeting absolutely free? You got it. I've been rated one of the best speakers in Michigan. So if you have a group of 10 or more people, I'll personally come and present a powerful, idea-loaded, 30-minute seminar absolutely free. Whether you're in retail, medical, manufacturing, technology, or any other industry, I can help you. If you're serious about increasing productivity, call me, Michael Jeffries, at 248-935-0200. Again, 248-935-0200. Call me now, 248-935-0200.
Club Venus. The goddess of love has come back. Enjoy the sights of immortal women. Club Venus. With 7 1/4 buckets always, imported or domestic. Buckets are always 7 1/4. Club Venus. Featuring adult stars once a month or witness Detroit's hottest amateur party Tuesday nights. Club Venus. Experience their private VIP champagne room where the ladies dance for your pleasure. Club Venus. Safe environment and valet parking on the corner of Michigan Avenue in Wyoming. Club Venus. Detroit's goddess of love. Need I say more?
Oh, I am so hungover. My head's pounding.
Yeah, and you gotta be at work in an hour.
How come you feel so good? You drank more than I did.
I took Chaser, remember?
What?
Chaser capsules. You take them right after you start drinking and you're guaranteed never to get a hangover. Looks like you should have taken Chaser too.
Never get another hangover guaranteed. Introducing Chaser, the clinically researched formula developed by Dr. Raymond Crippen that stops the headache and queasy stomach of a hangover before it stops you. Chaser absorbs the toxins and alcohol that cause hangovers like a sponge, so you can have a great night out and wake up alert and energetic the morning after. With safe, all-natural Chaser capsules, there's no headache, no nausea, no regrets. Call now for your risk-free 30-day trial of Chaser. 1-800-950-0217. That's 1-800-950-0217. It's guaranteed to work for you. 1-800-950-0217. That's 1-800-950-0217.
Always drink responsibly. Never drink and drive.
Being a Detroit sports junkie is a full-time job. If you're a Motor City sports fan, the magazine you've been waiting for is here. Sport Detroit. It's from the people who make our Detroit, so you know it's going to be good. It's available on newsstands all over town. Best of all, it's free. You'll find stories written by hometown reporters covering the stuff you really want. You know, the story behind the story, off the record, don't tell my mom I said that stuff. We'll give you profiles of today's local sports stars and catch up with some from the past. You'll get schedules, ticket information, and seating diagrams for all your favorite professional and college teams. Plus, every month, you'll get a look at the local sports bars and restaurants. Who's got the juiciest burgers, the biggest screens, the craziest crowds. You get the picture. Sport Detroit, the first magazine of its kind for a hardcore sports town.
In the September issue, Sports Detroit looks at TJ Duckett's run for the Heisman, profiles the Lions' Matt and Marty, and sends the human pretzel to Killer Kowalski's world-famous wrestling school.
Now, back to Detroit's world-famous morning show, The Howard Stern Show, on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm coming. I've killed our commercial break. Tom, our general manager in New York, said because of what's going on now in our country that we're just going to come back and be with you. The Pentagon has just been attacked.
Hit by a plane.
Hit by a plane. The World Trade Center has been hit by 2 planes. This is what we know so far. And I got to tell you.
They evacuated the White House.
Let me put on the sound.
Side of the screen, you can see the World Trade Center, which was hit by two planes. The first plane that hit the World Trade Center was a plane that was hijacked from Boston. As a result of that, we can also tell you that Logan Airport in Boston has also been closed.
Wow.
New York City airports are closed. Bridges and tunnels coming into Manhattan
What's going to be next?
have all been closed.
Anything could
that could
happen
be a further terrorist target is now being closed down as New York City and apparently the capital go into
the Pentagon. How do they get a plane through to the Pentagon? That's what I want to know. Isn't that what?
On the Washington Mall. So there's now 2.
How is the Pentagon?
It's 48 minutes since the first attack on the World Trade Center.
And they got
approximately.
Does
and they got a plane through.
question now whether this is terrorism?
Well, we know it's terrorism, and I'm telling you, a country has to be. You know, this reminds me of Japan attacked us in World War II, Pearl Harbor. They were the only country ever to attack the United States like this. And we took an A-bomb and we blew the daylights out of them. Harry Truman knew. They were still screwing around at the end of the war.
It was 4 years later.
4 years later, they dropped an atomic bomb on their ass. And we got to drop atomic bombs.
There's got to be a war.
That's all there is to
it.
But a devastating war where people die.
No stopping this.
Burn their eyes out with atomic bombs.
I don't want to hear about casual
and about civilians.
Casualties.
Far,
far
We got
more than
civilian
40,000 people
casualties.
work in the
If
trade.
this guy Bush doesn't go to war right now, I'm telling you
But you
that
gotta know where to go.
we know where to
Well,
go.
you know what?
Don't you know?
If they didn't do it, they better surrender right away.
Yeah, they should all surrender right now.
I'd rather Martin Sheen stepped up than Bush right now.
Vinny, be quiet.
Vinny, where did you come from?
Right? Vinny handled it
That's
better.
Vinny Penn. Vinny Penn is still trying to be funny. He's like, hey, this was my day to be funny. This is my shot.
I got lots
Well, you know, in all fairness, he hasn't been here in 3 months, and he may not be back for another 3. He's going to make the most of it.
All right, Vinny, you make all the jokes you want. We understand. Wait.
As you look live at New York City's
Pentagon.
Trade Center buildings on fire from
The Pentagon is on fire.
That's brazen. I mean, to attack the Pentagon, it's brazen. It's like we don't care.
Airlines.
That is the seat of our military.
Yeah.
Had been hijacked. The second airplane was
That's
trying
like
to get
scoffing at us as those superpowers.
They are
Are we
laughing.
done? I mean, do you think there's something else coming?
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Absolutely.
Look, who knew that this was going to
The
happen?
Pentagon. How are they getting all these planes?
That's why they're evacuating the White House. This is serious. Very serious.
Black smoke.
Our president can't go home
that
tonight.
aircraft was hit just a few moments ago, 9:40 this morning.
Should point out
He doesn't want to go home. He wants to be on that ranch anyway.
Washington Mall. No confirmation as to the cause of that. And the west wing of the White House and the Capitol buildings have been evacuated.
All these countries are jealous of us, our way of life.
They want us to be miserable like they are.
Right. And we are now miserable. And now is the time to not even ask questions. Just to be pissed off and drop a few atom bombs, do a couple of chemical warfare hits, let their people burn and suffer until they understand.
Empty our stores of everything because we haven't been bothering anybody.
Right.
They started screaming about colonialism. We stopped.
John Slattery, I'm sorry.
Right.
Dominic, what is it? I don't know why I'm going to you, but
California. Watch.
Yeah.
Something in the Midwest.
There's something in the West, something in LA, Chicago.
I mean, there's obvious targets, but I mean, Chicago, LA.
Chicago or something in
boy, they're going to the Pentagon.
They're doing it. They've shut down Wall Street.
Can you imagine they bombed? They actually crashed into the
Pentagon.
How do you get to do that? I thought that's like that airspace is completely protected. And how are they not on alert?
Well, everybody's on alert now.
I mean, it's 48 minutes later. I mean,
So what? I mean, that's certainly enough time.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
You know, this is a huge country to try to protect, though.
I know, but the Pentagon is a target that is considered a highly desirable target.
But you know what? They probably are sitting there going, nobody would ever do this, just like they did during World War II.
After the White House, what's the next biggest target? It's got to be the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
What's bigger than that?
Pentagon is bigger than the White House. It's where we have our nuclear capability.
Now, where does all the cabinet and the president go when you evacuate them? Where do they
They
go?
have bunkers.
They have
if they have to.
They have bunkers. What do you have, Baba
Yeah,
Booey?
well, we have the top. We can go to your apartment. We get a better view when the plane comes.
Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine if there was something in those planes that crashed? You know
There
what I'm
was
talking about?
something in there.
No, I'm saying
People.
like a chemical or something like that.
They don't
that's
need
supposed
more
to
than
spread.
the fuel.
That's right. That's all they need.
If it was
No, he's got a point. What if there's some killer gas in there, some chemical?
We'd
That's a
already
good point.
be dead.
I think everybody. Yeah, we'd already be
Tell
dead.
you what, there's no air in this building.
We're the
Not to make a joke.
We're the only ones left there.
I swear to you, I'm getting queasy.
Oh, I
There's every reason to
I'm
be.
having trouble breathing.
There's every reason to be.
I was
Who do I sue?
We are under attack like never before.
Howard will be the only casualty.
No, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get agitated.
Well, don't have a heart attack before you find out
I
what's
feel
going
like
to happen.
I'm very angry.
I
Read
know.
into a paper bag.
I'm very angry. I feel that people need to suffer now.
Scary.
We have to protect our way of life.
That's exactly true, Howard. You'll get no argument there.
Well, you'll see. They'll do nothing.
No.
I think you're wrong.
Here at Bellevue Hospital,
you
they're
better be wrong.
expecting
Listen up.
So far, 2 have arrived here. It seemed that the injuries were minor.
I feel like I'm watching a movie. That this can't be real.
A time ago, and
Yeah.
alarms
Be a
were
nightmare.
going off. Right now, they're on external disaster, a very high alert at this hospital. Everybody gearing up for this disaster. And here on the FDR, continuously, there are sirens just whizzing by, police cars, fire.
Can I say something? I'm trying to think who is it that could talk to us right now to try to calm us down. The only person I can think of is on the phone. Cabby. Crazy Cabby. Yes,
He
Cabby.
can make sense of all this?
Yes. Cabby.
Howard,
Yeah.
I live in Brooklyn, and I'm standing on the roof of my building, and it's disgustingly sick what is going on. Who did this, first of all? And second of all, it's time to stop toying and letting these people come into our country and blow things up and do it all over the world. You know, we keep guys like Osama bin Laden around because we need enemies. We need a reason to build bombs. And I swear to God, if this isn't a reason to wipe out every freaking terrorist on the planet Earth, today we have the technology. We know where they are.
We can do it.
It's just do it.
We're afraid of the world reaction. Now, don't be afraid.
Screw them. That's what I say. Screw the rest of the world.
I mean, you talk about attacking us at our heart. We're on the building with binoculars, and somebody said they think they saw somebody jump out of the building because the building's on fire.
Oh, my God. This is just
I can't, I'm in shock.
I'm in shock, too, and I'll tell you one thing. I'm getting increasingly woozy from this.
And they're closing down all of Manhattan. We will not be let off this island.
Look at it. Look at that thing.
Look at the burning Pentagon. The Pentagon you can't even see.
Right, it's engulfed in
They hit the Pentagon, too?
Oh, yeah.
You better go back inside.
They just blew up the Pentagon.
Oh, my God.
A plane hit the Pentagon.
Pentagon has been hit by an airplane 48 minutes after the World Trade Center was hit by two planes.
They are evacuating the West Wing of the White House.
It's time to stop screwing around with these people, and I'm talking all the way down to Saddam
They're begging
Hussein.
for it.
Yeah.
Countries like Yemen and the United Arab Emirates who house these people and let these people do this.
All of them. Blow them all to sky high.
They are begging us for
Atom bombs.
major attention.
Atom bombs.
Nuclear strikes all over the world.
Nuclear war. Just do it so that they're flattened out and it turns into a paved road, and
we
we'll
can
take
go
the oil
build
for ourselves.
amusement parks over there.
And we'll take the oil for ourselves, by the way. This is a good excuse.
How could a plane hit the Pentagon?
Well, that's a
That's
wonderful
right.
question, Dominic.
How could a plane hit a Pentagon 48 minutes after the World Trade Center's been attacked?
No,
because it's probably a commercial airline that was hijacked. Think of all the people on
They
these
just
planes.
said a plane was hijacked from Boston, one of these planes.
767 is, I called my
huge
wife,
jet.
and she said that the report she heard was that it was a 767 out of Boston, and that is probably
That's the
second
first
plane
one.
I think that's the second
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cabby, thanks for the call.
Howard, this is
I know.
one
I
of the
don't even.
biggest travesties to ever hit the world.
It is the one. It's certainly the biggest travesty in our lifetime.
I cannot believe it. I'm disgusted by humans, and we better take care of business, or we're all lost.
Yeah, our way of life will be destroyed. We are now we have to sit in fear. Now it's time to get busy.
Country on the planet,
If we
and
sit in
let this
fear, we
happen.
deserve to have our lives destroyed.
Right. Don't sit and listen to these other countries like France. You fakes.
Wait and see.
Yeah, how many times have we bailed their ass out, and they house terrorists too?
Oh, absolutely.
Get rid of them too.
Well, you know what? Just blow them all up.
There's debris falling onto the street from the World Trade Center. Flames and smoke from both towers.
I can see it from my. I'm standing on the roof of my building.
All right.
It makes me cry. It's sad.
All right. Thanks, Gabby.
An evacuation has been ordered at the United Nations. Now they're getting everybody out of every tall building.
Right.
Hey, Howard, CNN just also reported that they closed every airport in the country.
Good.
Absolutely.
Let's get
no
busy.
time to be flying around. See anything up there? Shoot it down.
Yeah, Dominic.
What's next?
Right. What's next?
What is next?
I never thought the Pentagon.
See, you can't get. There's no getting off Manhattan now. Everything's closed.
If they plan 3, they can do 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could be all day long with this.
This could be going on every day now unless we act swiftly and no investigation. You know what countries hate us.
You see what I say?
long
See,
list.
I'm
Yeah.
always, considered an extremist. But I say you declare war on everybody, and then whoever surrenders doesn't get killed.
Right.
But how do you kill every son and child?
I
just do it.
would.
Just do it. I
Because they
would.
grow up to be terrorists.
You know which countries have to be flattened out.
They're in collusion. If Bin Laden is behind this, boy, did he show us something.
They raised them to be terrorists.
It's not only Bin Laden. It's all those guys over there. They're
Yeah,
wise
there's
asses.
somebody listening to him. He doesn't do this on his own.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out and bomb anything.
Right, he's alive. He's got people killing
Yeah,
himself. before
exactly.
him.
Do you realize how many TV stations are actually knocked out?
No, I don't.
How many?
4, 5, 7.
Oh, they're knocked out?
Out.
Channel 7's not on the air?
Out.
Oh, my God.
What's on the air? 2?
How is CBS on?
Channel 2's the only one on.
2, and I believe...
They're on the Empire State Building.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
9 is out.
Look at that.
11 is out.
That is amazing.
Wow. Channel 2's the only one broadcasting here in New York.
5 is out. 4 is out.
Hold on, let me bring up some sound. What is it?
Hey, really important. Robin's driver is leaving, and he doesn't care how she gets home.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's going.
Well, why don't you go?
New York,
Actually, it's a
rather tape of the Pentagon, I'm sorry, and the New York skyline there on the right. Cindy, if you're still with us, we have a confirmation of a fire at the Washington Mall as well, and an explosion at the State Department, which right now the Associated Press is reporting that it was in fact a car bomb.
Right. And okay.
All bridges and tunnels closed into Manhattan, as you would imagine. The city under a lockdown, an emergency alert as the mayor, the governor round up their people and try to assess the damage.
Robin, I haven't been listening, but John just came in and said he heard that another plane has just been hijacked in Pittsburgh.
Right, that's what they were saying on the tube, was that a Pittsburgh airport plane had been hijacked, and that's the one flying toward Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing. They're watching it.
Maybe at this point we should just keep listening to the feed for a while and see what's going on.
It's freaking scary.
There's a bunch of people on the phone now, so people are able to get through on their phones.
Only on some.
On some.
Oh, the primary day has been canceled. You're supposed to go out and vote for a mayor candidate.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that today.
You're not doing that today.
You're looking live now, but we're going to, in a minute, rewind the tape and then show it to you as it started. Here's a tape of the second plane that went into tower number 2. At just about 9:20 this morning, it crashed into the 110-story tower, exploding into flames, sending debris everywhere, and that happened at about 9:20. The first plane having crashed into tower number 1 at 9 o'clock.
40,000 people working between the two centers right now, and we only can imagine what's happening as far as buildings nearby. We have not heard too many reports from the other buildings in that area.
Here's
now you're
collapse.
looking at tape from the collapse of the first tower, and not long after that, the collapse of the second tower.
About a half an hour later.
Again, children in the area, in the schools in that area, we are told are doing well. We're told they're fine. Of course, they're being held in those schools. Children from PS 89, PS 234 taken to PS 41. Kids from PS 150 taken to PS 3. They're not going anywhere until parents can come to get them. And frankly, folks, from what we're able to see, this could take quite a bit of time. And just now, the Associated Press reporting that a large plane, to reiterate what Cindy Shu had brought us, a large plane crashed into western Pennsylvania. Officials at Somerset County Airport are confirming this. The AP report. We've also heard reports that there was a
there is a hijacked 767 out of Pittsburgh that is circling an airport in Northern Virginia. Not sure if it's Washington National Airport or Dulles Airport, which is now Reagan Airport. But that the authorities, of course, have a beat on that, but that we understand that 767 out of Pittsburgh has been hijacked.
Let's refocus our attention, if we can, on the situation here in New York City. Lou Young joining us on the phone. Lou?
Well, we were just trying to get to City Hall a few moments ago. Walking down from Canal Street, everything, as you know, was completely blocked. Seas of people coming the other way, dumbfounded by the collapse of the first tower, and some of them covered with soot, many of them trying to just get out of town. City Hall, of course, was blocked off at that point because it was literally in the shadow or the potential fall zone of the second tower, which was at that point in danger of falling. We worked our way around to the south, trying to link up with...
All right, so we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Double A's on the phone. Where are you getting this report from?
I'm watching Channel 42 News. It's New Jersey. They're saying that 2 more planes got hijacked out of Boston, and they're headed for L.A.
Oh, my God.
This is sick, man. What the hell's going on here?
This is an organized effort like we've never seen. I mean, how could the FBI or the CIA not be aware of this?
Heads will roll on this one.
Has anybody...
If there are any heads left when they're done.
Right.
Has anybody
they're
said
also
that...
saying that the White House knew about this stuff? That it was
they had a credible report of a terrorist attack. We're aware that the plane that was hijacked out of Pittsburgh has crashed.
It has?
Yes, that's what
It
we're.
did crash.
That's what I've been. That's what I've been.
Where did it crash into?
About 80 miles outside of Pittsburgh.
So, in other words,
that's what I was just told right outside.
We don't know if it was shot down.
We don't know.
And there are people on that plane? I'm talking about passengers?
We would assume so, but we just don't know.
I just don't ever recall a time where a plane was hijacked. We didn't immediately know about it.
Why are they still being hijacked?
All right, here's what I know. The plane crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Howard?
Yeah.
Maybe the pilot just flew it into the ground.
You think the pilot's, just saying, I'd rather crash in an unpopulated area at this point?
Let's just kill ourselves.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
But now, Ganger just told me that people are assuming that the actual pilots are not,
I don't think so.
That can't be. No, that they're not the actual pilots. They're just like some
Right, I think some terrorists.
Howard, there's an exodus of people, it appears, walking on the FDR towards the Williamsburg Bridge through the park here.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, Richie was in the Times Square area. who works for E. He says he's walking to Queens, and Casey and Benji are asking me, do I feel safe here? I was like, I don't feel safe anywhere in this country right now.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
What am I going to do, walk to Connecticut? I mean, what do you do?
Well, Casey just bailed out. He
Yeah.
told me he didn't feel safe in the building, and he wants to be on the ground.
He lives on the ground floor, so fine.
Look, I want to be on...
He's going to go home to his basement.
There's a guy,
that was their plan, Howard. They instill fear. That's what they wanted to do, was the fear factor.
Don't expect KC to defend us.
Yeah, like I want to be the foxhole with Casey.
I like the way
I'll tell you one thing. I've never been, the Vietnam War. I never want to go fight, but I go fight this one.
This is something to fight
I'll
about.
enlist right now. God damn it, fly over there and help blow up these pricks.
I'll be right with you, Howard. I'll be right there with you.
You bet.
You know what, Howard? You know what I keep saying to John?
Casey, you get on the ground floor, buddy. If you're nervous, I'm
don't be
serious.
safe.
I'm not even making fun of you. You go ahead. Go ahead. Get down. I'm serious. If you're not comfortable, leave.
Go where you're comfortable. Because nobody's comfortable here now anyway.
Being up on on a high floor like this.
You good. All right, so go.
Think about tanning.
Don't worry. You can go. This is a real thing. If you have a real fear, you should leave.
Hey, Howard, you know what really scares me now is the bedlam on the streets of New York now. Is there going to be a lot of looting now? Is people going to go...
I don't know. I hope
To
not.
God that we have the respect and dignity not to do that.
You know, Howard, you know the thing that freaks me out? How on earth will I ever explain this to my son?
You won't.
Can't. What do you mean? Just say that...
Well, if we don't do anything, you really will have trouble explaining it.
Bush has got to come to the plate here, man. He's got to...
Well, yeah, he's probably busy right now planning
I'm
something.
telling you, and you know who's going to have a big, heavy hand in this is Colin Powell.
That's the man.
He's gonna go in and tell him this is what we got to do.
Hey, Howard, any confirm on who it is?
Yeah, Fox News is reporting a second plane is headed toward the Pentagon. A second plane. Let me go.
There's supposed to be no planes flying. If a plane is flying,
Let me go to the feed and let's see if we can hear what's really going on.
Takes time to land.
Take off at all. Virtual, no fly zone, no aircraft within any distance of Manhattan at this time.
That's completely understandable.
Jim, we know you're about 5-6 miles away from downtown Manhattan, but from your vantage point, what update, if any, can you give us on what you're seeing along the streets there?
Well, Michael, we can tell you that some of the smoke, dust, and debris is starting to clear out. Earlier, we were unable to see anything on the lower half of Manhattan. We are currently looking towards the Battery Park area. And we could see some buildings now becoming visible that we were unable to see earlier. We have noticed a lot of...
We're not learning anything new there.
No, nothing there.
Let me see something. Someone's got a report that the PLO is taking responsibility. Josh, where did you hear that? Josh, are you there? Josh.
If Yasser Arafat had anything to do with it, I mean,
well, I'm sure he knew about it, believe me.
Now the traffic lanes on the Williamsburg Bridge are filled with people that appear to be coming from the downtown area. They're walking slow. Looks like they're covered in soot. They're just getting out of the city.
All right.
How are we still? I thought our antenna is somewhere over there.
It's not. We moved
not
it
moved
after the last
explosion.
I don't know what to say at this point. Yeah, we're
What can
watching.
you
Third
say?
explosion caused the collapse. It's just out of control. Out of friggin' control. Let me see if anybody's got any information here. Darren, go ahead. Darren?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Howard, you need to stay on the air. You have the best coverage. You have a bird's eye view with Cabby and Doug in New York. I'm out here in Boston, and your coverage is fantastic, better than the network.
Okay, good. Then I'll stay on the air.
You're doing a great public service right now. You have a network of listeners.
I turned off my microphone for a while. I said to Tom, should I get off the air? And Tom said, believe it or not, you're doing a good job here, and people are calling like crazy. You need to speak, and especially for people outside of New York. So I'll stay on the air.
Definitely.
All right, thanks.
Doing a great job.
All right.
It appears that the smoke coming out of downtown has now turned black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that there's buildings on fire. I mean, that's what only one could assume, because when the building collapsed, it was clear, kind of a cloud of dusty smoke, and now it's pitch black smoke. Just
Yeah,
coming.
they said other buildings were affected, Cabby,
Yeah.
when the buildings collapsed.
Hey, Cabby.
Well, no, I'm saying they're probably on fire now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were.
Other buildings are affected now.
Yeah.
Hey, Cabby.
Look at the people. See, they're covered in dust.
Yeah.
They're walking out of that area.
I see a guy in a suit covered in dust, freaking out. Let's see.
No doubt.
People are in shock.
Covered in
I'm talking about that other guy next to him.
that, of course, is traveling for miles.
The two towers, 110 stories tall each, and
I'm not getting any news about what's going on. Well, let me talk to Doug.
How do they breathe in that area of the city right now?
I'll put Doug on with you here too. Doug?
Hey, so basically the whole city is under major caution for the quality of air. They're afraid the wind is going to shift now. They evacuated our rooftop because if the wind comes, they're afraid, like basically anyone in New York City or within a 5-mile radius is practically in serious danger, is what they're saying, because the air is, once the air shifts, people are it's just going to take people by storm.
All this dust is going to come flying.
You can't survive in it. And the other thing is, Howard, a public service you should do right now is the best attempt to find how people can volunteer, because the city is beyond, you could get 4 states worth of emergency workers and you're still going to be understaffed.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, Doug. Where is the smoke headed now?
It's headed towards downtown Brooklyn.
It's probably within 30 blocks of my apartment, and I'm about maybe 90 blocks away from from the Twin Towers.
What direction are you?
I am north of the Twin Towers by about probably 2.5 miles or 3 miles.
Howard,
but I mean, it's so visible. I could clearly
what are you doing?
I'm going to go.
You're going to leave? Go ahead, John. What is it, Cabby?
The smoke is going basically out to sea almost, like past downtown Brooklyn, towards the Coney Island area.
That's where it's going now, but they're afraid that a wind shift is going to be devastating.
I can imagine, because it'll cloud the whole city up. Right. And when we were in the Persian Gulf, Howard, when Saddam Hussein lit the oil wells on fire, we were in smoke as very similar to this for 2 days, and it is impossible to breathe. I mean, we had our gas masks on, of course, at times for 12 hours at a shot, but even through then, you had to rechange the filters, and all these people in Manhattan have no gas masks. They have no. So I mean, I would
the emergency workers. They're not prepared for this.
So what do? You can't leave, and yet you can't breathe.
And someone just put a thing up on my screen that the Port Authority police are calling in more bombs in the World Trade Center. Is that? Can someone give me who's writing that down and what's going on?
Are they getting it?
Let me see. I got to know what's going on with this.
But Howard, I mean, they need help is the bottom line. Now is not the time to help, but someone should call in and, there's got to be a way for people to volunteer to help.
Well,
I'm ready to go down there and do something, but I
have no idea how you do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Dust settles. I don't know, but I mean, the police can't handle this. No emergency crews can handle this.
And who knows how many police and fire were down at the base of that thing and are under all that debris.
I know. This is devastating.
Channel 7 just had a shot a block away once the building collapsed, and I mean, you just can see fire trucks just disappear.
Oh my
disappear.
God!
I don't know if they were, if they were crushed, but they just disappear in the smoke, and you can only imagine. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, you're talking you're talking 220 stories of concrete, glass, and steel.
Billions of tons of debris.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring the TV. There's nothing new on there right now, so I'm just.
The Williamsburg Bridge is now completely filled with people, which is usually filled with cars, and they're all coming into Brooklyn.
Some British dudes on the phone. Hello? Hello?
No, Brit?
Yeah, hi. Oh, Brit. Oh, I thought it was a British dude. It's a.
Hi.
Sorry, Brit. What is it?
What?
Hello?
What?
Hi. Is this Howard?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
I was listening to your show this morning about 8 a.m. You had on the hiccup guy.
Oh, God.
You got to be kidding me.
I was thinking,
Hang up on
there's
her.
really nothing going on in the world. It's eerily quiet. There's a violent hatred brewing in the Middle East. Who's thinking about it? What the hell are we doing about it?
In the Middle East, it's already brewed here, woman.
Yeah, she's a little out of it.
Oh, my God.
She prognosticated something.
Yeah, she thinks when we had the hiccup guy on, she thought about the Middle East. I don't even want to listen. This forget that.
I would not be surprised because when I was in the 82nd Airborne, Howard, when incidents around the world would happen, we were immediately put on standby, and I would not be surprised if our troops of the Special Forces, of the Marine Recon, of the Navy SEALs are not flying to places to eradicate these types of situations.
Well,
I
would guess, Doug. I would guess the people in the military are going to be brought in.
I mean, you know what? Anyone who claims this, whether we have proof or not, just freaking annihilate the country. Don't worry about the kids, the old people. Just freaking wipe the country.
Yeah, teach them a lesson.
Everybody there.
Just wipe them out. You see how they wiped out the Twin Towers? Wipe out the country. Babies. Who cares about their babies?
Yeah, no one cares about their babies. Not me. Hey, listen. Let me go up to the CBS feed here. We'll put it up and we'll see if we can learn anything new.
Specifically, security is clamped down across our state, and there were plans to increase security at border points. Governor George Pataki has canceled his New York City events. Let's go to New Jersey, where airports and river crossings to New York City are closed. Traffic is reported snarled on the Jersey Turnpike. PATH commuter trains canceled. At Newark International Airport, there are officers with shotguns block the road leading to Port Authority offices and the air traffic control. There is no service into New York City on the LIRR or Metro North. And again, we've told you that subway service is shut down here. Now, as far as
Can you believe this?
people trying to find out about their loved ones, we keep
I don't
telling you
know.
that the phones in
I'm
the
live with
city-
my.
You talk about your love. I was just trying to contact my daughter who lives in Manhattan, and I just got a hold of her. But I mean, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, my wife Marlo is she's in the 20s and she's in a panic mode. She can't get home. She's just running on the streets.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, she's running home as quick as she can, and it's scared because she doesn't have a cell phone. I can't get in touch with her.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. I'm going to put up the CBS News feed. If you guys want to hang on the phones, and
Do you want me to stay on?
Yeah, stay on.
Okay.
Just listen to the feed for a while. I'm going to
Okay.
try and regroup in a few minutes.
All right.
Thanks, Harry. You're doing a great job.
Many people, thousands of people that had been here in the street had been moving in waves in order to get away from the billowing smoke and debris that came as the towers came down. There were people who said that they had run down the stairways in the buildings, and they said that while they were getting rather sooty as they were coming down, it was quite controlled. Everyone was orderly. But then when they got to the ground, some people said they were fortunate enough to come out the right side of the building where no debris was coming out, and they were able to join people in the World Financial Center and also people at Stuyvesant High School and the school across the street, where everybody was coming out, and lots of people were crying, holding on to each other, and many of those people were covered with soot as they tried to move ahead of the waves of incredible billowing smoke that was coming. When one jet fighter scrambled the area, some people were saying, where were those guys earlier? Because a lot of these people had said they were in their offices and they witnessed not only the second plane hit, but they saw the first plane hit. And then a portion of World Trade 1 came down, and that's when everybody started really moving. Before that, the police, in trying to control the area, kept moving the perimeter farther and farther out, unclear of what was going to happen. They got word that there might be a third plane that was going to hit the area. They moved the perimeter back. Then a portion of World Trade 1 came down. They moved the perimeter back. Then World Trade went down, and the place just went up for grabs. Everybody was running. Emergency people were running. Police were running. It was an unbelievable sight. And the people who were caught in it came out absolutely covered with debris, covered with a very fine chalky powder, and many firemen were suffering the worst of it in having breathed this. Some hoses have been set up by the fire department for firefighters to take off their bunker gear and to try to get the soot out of their noses, out of the powder out of their noses, out of their mouths, and off of their heads and their eyes. There are people that still, there are cars around that are covered with this thick soot. And Carol Marin from 60 Minutes was one of those inside. I'm going to hand this over to you now, Carol.
John, I can't hear, so I don't know who I'm talking to. I just came out of and around Battery Park. After the second tower went down, I was trying to make my way to a CBS crew, or to try to help CBS crews if I could. And then, I don't know what it was, John, but another explosion, a rolling blast of fire, a rolling column of fire towards us. If my respect for fire and police already knew no bounds, given the danger, it now exceeds what I thought it could, because a firefighter threw me into the wall of a building, covered me with his body as the flames approached us. And another police officer in New York named Brendan Duke, wherever he is, got me through smoke that neither one of us could see more than about a foot ahead of us. There are still people in there, excuse me, I've breathed them. Fair amount of soot. The personnel, the police and the fire working in there are doing so against really dangerous odds, and they still don't know if there's something else left to explode, John.
Where were you at the time?
I was, not being a New Yorker, you'll have to help me here. I came around Stuyvesant High School, and that street is North End, and I came up and asked if anyone had seen a CBS crew. And I was directed by a firefighter who said, walk down the middle of the road because you don't know what's going to come down. At which point we heard a rumble like I've never heard before, and a firefighter ran towards me. We ran as fast as we could. I lost my shoes. I fell down. He picked me up and slammed me into a wall and covered me with him until we could make it more to safety.
Was this from the first rolling blast or the second?
John, I looked at my watch. It was about 10:44 is what my watch said. So it was after the second, I think the second tower explosion.
All right, Carol Marin from CBS 60 Minutes. I'm John Slattery, back to the studio.
All right, John, thank you. We're going to go to Marcia Kramer now. She's got another update for us. Marcia?
Well, you know, we're trying to keep track of those 8 hijacked planes. We now have word that one of those planes may be in the area near Dulles Airport. Again, one of those hijacked planes may be in the air near Dulles Airport. We seem to have been able to account for a total of 5 of the planes. There's the one in the air right now near Dulles. There's one that we now have unconfirmed reports that crashed near Somerset County Airport in western Pennsylvania, and there are the 3 that have struck American targets, 2 at the World Trade Center and 1 in Washington at the Pentagon. That's 5. The question is, where are the other 3 planes and where are they headed? Again, we do have a report that one of the 8 planes that have been hijacked is on its way somewhere near Dulles Airport, some target in the Texas area. Back to you, Lisa and Michael.
Okay.
Marcia, thank you. Just to quickly recap, if you're just now joining us, you're looking at live pictures
on the left side of your screen
of a scene that cannot be described. The World Trade Centers hit by hijacked planes, exploding, collapsing. You're looking at crews as they scramble to help anybody at all. 50,000 people work at the trade centers. 200,000, Michael O'Looney reporting, move through that area every day. And we spoke a moment ago with John Slattery, who is just north of the trade center site at West Street in Murray. David Diaz also on the phone. He's down in Lower Manhattan with further details. David?
Well, this is the situation. Some people remember the phrase in the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, it was kind of like that for New York City today as I was making my way down the streets. The people standing still, pouring out into the streets, looking in awe, amazement, shock, and grief and anger at what they were seeing in front of them, what used to be the World Trade Center towers up in smoke. The streets full of people also running, however, so not everyone was standing still. People were running north, people bending over from exhaustion, other people just hyperventilating from the shock of it, other people around phone lines, in front of phones, some of them on the phone, crying hysterically, others trying to calm them, other people very anxious and getting very upset, trying to get to a phone to find out whether any of their loved ones were in the area as they suspected they were. You had other people coming to their aid, comforting them, having them sit down, bringing them water. Tremendous cooperation on the streets of New York City this morning in this tremendous shock wave, not the shock wave physically from the buildings themselves, but a shock wave that terrorism had apparently struck so forcefully and so visibly to everyone here, and people just poured out of their offices. Work will not be done in New York City today as everyone is out on the streets. The subways, where I started my journey trying to get down to the World Trade Center, became total gridlock before finally they were closed down, people pouring out of subway entrances. But usually there were announcements in the subways, in fact, what had happened, so people knew what this was all about. But that also added to the edge in the subway system, because once people started hearing this and assuming at that point, not even knowing that it was terrorism, suddenly, of course, thoughts started to come into people's heads that maybe some bombs would be planted in the subways as well. So terrorism means striking terror into the hearts of people. That has been accomplished because New York City is feeling terror today, and the streets are filled with people experience it, and the grief and the uncertainty that follows all of that. That's the scene as I've seen it on the streets as I've approached the World Trade Center, 7th Avenue, 6th Avenue, 8th Avenue, and all of the surrounding streets. Almost all of the movement is northbound, people trying to get away from the scene of the explosions, fearing that there are more to come.
You're still seeing debris and soot all around you, David?
Yes, the clouds keep billowing. The soot actually seems to have not reached much further at this point than just about Canal Street. And the wind is blowing mainly towards the east, so I would expect that it's being carried towards not only over the South Street Seaport area, but into downtown Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Heights area. I suspect would be getting a pretty big dose of it as well.
David Diaz, stay close.
Yeah, well, you know what? While we're waiting right now a further report from our Todd McDermott, who's been working the information of the phones all morning long, we want to reiterate to parents as you're watching this whole scene unfold, there are schools in that area, as you're well aware of, and those children in PS 89 and PS 234, students from those schools have been taken to PS 41. Students from PS 150 have been taken to PS 3. Those students are under what's called lockdown. They're not being released on their own. They're just waiting for parents to get there to pick them up. But frankly, folks, from the pictures that you're seeing here from Chopper 2, there is no telling how long it will take you to get to those children.
Hate to interrupt you. We got to go to Jennifer McLogan, who's live at JFK Airport. Jennifer, take it away.
Kennedy International Airport right now entirely closed down. We're in the midst of a terrorism sweep behind me. Cars are being inspected. Individual air terminals are being emptied as K-9 units that walked before us a short time ago and explosive experts make their way through. Gridlock on the ground. Skies are empty of planes, but billowing smoke from those towers can be seen. It's very, very visible here. No one wants to fly, even if they could. Everyone is panicked about being hijacked. That's what they're telling me. Their lives forever changed by today's horror. The control tower is being evacuated. People feel helpless, confused, unable to make a decision. We are outside the American Airlines terminal. Its employees now being evacuated, worried, hurt, concerned about co-workers and passengers that may have been on that plane out of Boston. It is a nightmare that no one wants to
experience.
It is a nightmare that
nobody wants to.
We want to awaken from. And we're a little, I was distracted there because a gentleman from the airlines has just come up and told me that we must evacuate now because they're still worried about bombs, even here at Kennedy.
Okay,
Sure,
Lisa,
we
Michael.
understand. Jennifer, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And let's go to Todd McDermott. He's been working on a report in our information center. Todd, what can you tell us?
Well, first of all, there are now reports from CBS News that a plane apparently has crashed at or near Camp David, the weekend White House, if you will. Right now at the White House, they have decided they are making plans right now to get all the major leaders of the government out of Washington. Also, another key element here as we try to piece together who did this and why it happened. It has been pointed out it is the anniversary, September 11th, of the Camp David Accords. Again, speculation that the reason this attack has taken place is in retaliation for U.S. support of the Israeli government. Also, we have reports that the jet that has been circling Dulles Airport in Northern Virginia, perhaps to launch another attack on the Pentagon, is surrounded by American Air Force F-16s right now. Again, that is believed to be another hijacked aircraft at this time. They are trying to hail that plane, but it has been surrounded by F-16s. Obviously, in this situation, should another attack perhaps be possible, it may be up to the Air Force to decide to shoot that plane down. Again, we have no confirmation that is a plan at this point, but they have surrounded the aircraft as they try to determine what the next move is, but that is believed to be perhaps another hijacked aircraft.
Bin Laden says...
Yeah, they got tired of waiting for Allah to bring us down.
Yeah, trust me, he's in them, and they're all in on it, and it's time for them all to die.
How could you respond to these people who 2,000 years after Christ dies, they still fight in the desert over a piece of... How do you
out of trash land, nothing, garbage.
How do you reason with these people?
You don't. They don't. They're willing to kill themselves to kill us. It's.
Now, wait a second. What's that?
I mean, what are we looking at now? Hold on a second.
Earlier this morning, approximately 60-foot section of this building, which is, of course, the headquarters of all... Pentagon.
That's the Pentagon we're looking at. It's on fire.
Was on fire as a result of this this crash, and then collapsed.
The Pentagon collapsed.
Some of the pictures we've been bringing our audience from the Pentagon. We've watched people being treated by first aid personnel there. We have no information yet.
I'm getting a note that on WYSP in Philly, Detroit, and Cleveland radio stations were being interrupted. So I don't even know what stations we're on at this point.
Emergency
and what are we being interrupted with? I don't know.
We're definitely on in New York, that's for sure.
No, I know that.
Elsewhere,
what's interrupting us?
Don't know. I'll try and find out.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Can I ask Tom a quick question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tom, should I stay here or should I try to walk into work?
I think you're doing a great job. I would stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, stay there.
All right, I'll stay here.
Okay, I think you've been great.
Thank you.
For once.
Oh, get off me.
Howard, the scariest thing right now, I can't get through. I have a friend who literally lives 3 blocks away from the Twin Towers.
I have a couple friends that live right down that same area, man.
I know, and there are people I'm trying to contact. Anne Marie's out there dialing for me.
They say for the first time in history, we have stopped all domestic flights and diverted all international flights to Canada. We've never had to take that kind of action before.
This is you know what? It hasn't even sunk in with me yet.
No, it seems like you're watching a movie or something.
Yeah, it hasn't even sunk in that the World Trade Center is gone. It's
Pearl Harbor. I mean,
that thousands of people are probably dead.
Tens of thousands, Howard.
Tens and tens, probably 50 plus, I would say.
I would say at least.
Yes, and that the Pentagon, God only knows what was going on there, and who knows what else is going to happen next.
Well, our government was attacked.
And there are
probably not one of us in this New York area or in this country who's not going to know someone who was killed in this.
Right. I can start by telling you one of our, nothing's wrong with her, but one of our brand new interns was supposed to start today. Her mom called to tell us she's being held in a garage in New York City because her building's gone.
Wow.
We know people on staff who.
There's a plane in Cleveland loaded with. What is this? I don't know. On a runway with a bomb. Oh! There's a plane in Cleveland loaded with people on a runway with a bomb.
Well, that's
probably
the guy
why.
was calling in for, yeah.
That's maybe what's going on with our Cleveland station. If anyone can find out.
I've been hearing that on the other stations that they're interrupting our reports with news reports.
I see. Yeah, they're probably going to local programming because each city, some of the major cities, are all having their own story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to blame anybody, but you know, it's funny because, you know, you think you're so safe in this country, and we were taught when I was in the military that, you know, that the Air Force is always up in the air and there's always someone watching. And for airplanes to just be hijacked in numbers like this and crash into our own populated areas.
Well, let me tell you something.
Well, what we learned in Vietnam is when you're using guerrilla tactics, it's impossible for the military to stop
And
it.
remember the mistake in Vietnam. We should have nuked those dudes, and we never did. And if we don't nuke some of these countries over there, I mean literally nuke them, fry them, fry their children, fry everything, they will never stop.
You know
they
what I
will
feel
never stop. And I know it's an unpopular thing to do, but you got to be the strong one, and Bush is going to have to make that decision. Target 3 countries over there and level them.
Yemen is one of them.
But Howard, you know what it feels like now? It feels like almost like, you know, remember when we fought the British? It's like we're the redcoats. Like we're standing.
We're playing like idiots.
Yeah, we're playing fair while guerrillas
we're
are
standing in line waiting for people to shoot us.
Yeah, military action has changed. We're all
there's
about.
a U.S. Army general, I think, who's talking now.
Okay, let me see.
More trouble before all of this concludes.
He's a retired Army general.
Protect the American people first. We've got to look after those who are injured. We've got to take precautionary measures to deal with.
Former NATO Supreme Commander Wesley Clark.
That's underway with a lot of responsible action by people everywhere. The damage at the Pentagon is unclear from all the news reports that I've seen.
Who knows what's going on?
The one report that said it crashed into the Army side of the building. There are command centers in various places of the Pentagon, and there are many other alternate command centers. So I don't think there's really any issue about the command and control of the United States Armed Forces. I'm sure that's very solid right now.
Well, you see what he's saying? He's saying that the reason you attack the Pentagon is to knock out all the leaders of the military, because each military unit has a command center there. You have the heads of all of the Navy, the Army, the Air Force right there in the Pentagon.
In Philadelphia, we are on the air. They're just interrupting for any kind of local news. We're on in Louisville, and they'll stay with us as long as we stay on. It seems like all our affiliates are still with us. So
yeah, I'm telling you, it's the best coverage. You have access to 7 different networks here.
I know, and if we hear anything, we just go right on the air with it. So we're trying to. We're just sitting here in,
you see
in
these
shock.
pictures from like the Gaza Strip when there's a car bomb. You see
but it never feels. It never feels real enough.
It's us.
Yeah, now it feels real,
it's the
right?
exact pictures you see from overseas that you just say, "Oh my God, you can't even imagine that." This is us in New York City.
As someone said earlier today, this is Israel every day.
That's right.
No, you don't take down Twin Towers.
This is worse.
The only affiliate that's not with us is Cleveland because of the bomb report at the airport and the airplane with the bomb. They're probably going to local coverage. A lot of our phone lines are down. We do have people calling in. I'll keep going to the phones. People here, I know, in just in our building, people in Manhattan are devastated. Everybody knows someone who works at the World Trade Center. Of course. And everyone knows someone who's involved with the financial community, which is where we were first hit sometime before 9 o'clock in the morning, a few minutes before 9. 18 minutes later, a second plane goes into the World Trade Center. We've seen the complete collapse of the World Trade Center. We've seen a plane go into the Pentagon, just crash right into it.
That's the scariest thing of all.
There are other planes now with bombs, and also they're saying there are terrorists with bombs not in planes, but are also running around. That's what we know.
Doug, do you have that information on blood supply?
Yeah, let me give that again. For blood, the main number is 1-800-933-BLOOD. 1-800-933-BLOOD. The website is nybloodcenter.org. And let me give those 4 locations that I know of. I'm sure there's more.
We're all lucky to be alive. That's all I can say.
Howard, can I give those 4 locations real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
53rd Street and Lexington Avenue in the Citicorp building, 168th Street and Broadway, 150 Amsterdam Avenue on the west side of Manhattan, and 67th Street and 2nd Avenue.
And if you can give blood, do it, because, just imagine if this was you. Oh, my God. You're minding your own business, and this...
Yeah, you're just trying to get to work.
This nightmare happens.
Falls on you.
Howard?
Yeah.
We're getting a report. Someone in my building here said they saw on the news that the 2 hijacked planes that were supposedly headed towards L.A. are now being considered not a problem. Maybe they've been shot down.
Yeah, we don't know.
Or maybe they're legitimate.
They're not supposed to be up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Rob, how long ago was that? Like 2 hours
Yeah, it was
ago?
a long time ago that they said no more flights in over domestic airspace.
Yeah. Colin, go ahead. You're on the air.
Sorry to interrupt, Robin. I just wanted to say thank you, all of you, for staying on the air, and I just want to make it please stay on as long as possible, because all the insanity you people bring me every day, this is the most sanity I have right now. I can't even explain to you what you guys are doing for me. I appreciate it.
We're sitting here in shock, I'll tell you that. I was just out in the hallway for 5 minutes, took a 5-minute break, and I tell you something, it's just unimaginable what's going on.
Right. I walked up to the deli just about the same time.
People are in shock.
We went on break, and there were people just wandering around just watching TV.
The noise you're hearing is Crazy Cabbie's phone connection. He's right in the thick of it, and he's seeing it, and you're hearing emergency workers running around. We saw military planes flying over New York.
There's thousands of people on the Williamsburg Bridge walking into Brooklyn. The exodus from New York is just people on foot now. Everybody's leaving.
Minutes before 9 o'clock, we were on the air, and when we first saw the report of the World Trade Center on fire, and even though there was a plane going into it, it almost didn't even, you didn't even know. It didn't seem real. You didn't even think it was, you don't know what the hell was going on. And then another plane, then the Pentagon. It is the most organized attack you have ever seen.
Unbelievable. How do you penetrate security at so many different airports and hijack planes?
Well, here's Gary with something. Go ahead.
On line 2, and I checked this out, so it's for real, is Congressman Gary Ackerman. He's from the 5th District of New York.
Yeah, we know Gary Ackerman.
He got a briefing from somebody, and he wanted to come on the air and talk.
Hi, Congressman. Congressman? I don't think I have him. Congressman? Congressman?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
What'd you hear?
It's an absolute nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. This is going to go down as Black Tuesday, and it's going to change each of our personal lives as well as our civilization forever.
You're not kidding.
The way we do business, who we do business with, our security precautions that we're going to have to take. I think this is driven home in the most dramatic way that anybody with a suit and a blue tie can get on a plane and do all kinds of damage almost at will.
Congressman, were you briefed in any way on this?
No, everybody who's supposed to be in secure places right now is there. We've closed down the whole Capitol. I'm in New York. I stayed here for the primary, and I was going to go down a little later.
Right.
And I just voted. Of course, the election's now been called off.
Right.
But our offices are all shut down. But you can surmise that the members of the Supreme Court, President's cabinet, and all officials who have to be are in the places they're supposed to be at.
Where do you think the president is right now, and what's going on? Do you have any guess?
He's not anywhere anybody can get to him.
Well, we don't want to guess out loud, but he's probably right now in a very safe and secure place. We do have places. Some of them are known, some are not. and the president is in one of them. And it's always good to know that nobody knows ahead of time which one he's going to be at. But certainly there's a command post where he is, and regardless of any of our politics, we're all going to pull together.
Yes, we are. We are all behind the president and waiting for his word. Yeah.
But Congressman, isn't this an attack against the government?
Without speculating recklessly on this, Howard. I mean, we know really of only one group that really has the capability,
right,
and the resources to be able to pull off something like this.
You bet.
But they did. They
targeted. We've seen that happen in some of our embassies previously. Now
yes.
we've seen.
This is what goes on in Israel every day.
Now, people, you got it right. People now understand, I think, dramatically and unfortunately, what the Israelis have been going through, and how do you deal with this?
Oh, I know.
And to do preemptive strikes against people who are known terrorists suddenly makes a little bit more sense than to allow something like this to happen and then terrorists.
That's absolutely right. We can't sit by.
People attack our government.
It's different kind of warfare. We saw it. It's the world today is different. It's not. You know, we got to kind of feel like the sitting ducks of the world, like the British. You know.
But you have to feel they plan to throw this country into chaos and to cause anarchy.
They did.
That's exactly it.
Didn't they
done this in a startling and very effective way
organized
today?
It's amazing that
they have to know that we are going to respond with the full force and might of the United States.
Do you know when the president, Congressman,
than when you're dealing with a country.
Congressman, do you know when the president will talk again?
No, I don't, and I think everybody's busy getting information. But as soon as the president is able to impart information or give us a sense of direction, I'm sure that's going to be done.
By the way, I got an update. I have one update, Congressman. The plane in Cleveland is safe. It's been evacuated. The one that was
that had the bomb.
That had the bomb. It's good news.
That is very good news on this otherwise bleakest of days.
Yes.
Despite the fact that this is probably not coming from a country that has a government in specific,
right?
That we do know the address of where these people do their training very often.
Exactly, and stop forgiving the governments for hiding these guys.
That's right.
You bet.
I think that people are going to understand that sometimes collateral damage has to be done, and innocent people are going to suffer who live in the neighborhood, unfortunately.
Or else we're sitting ducks. And
what we had was collateral damage. You first attacked the World Trade Center, so you take our eyes off the government.
Right, and the World Trade Center was a diversionary tactic. Absolutely. The World Trade Center was not even the target. What it is
that was it.
To get to today the Pentagon was attacked.
See, I think
this is unbelievable.
10,000 people dying in the World Trade Center is more devastating than
No, I do too. But the real thing is they were trying to get to the White House and the Pentagon.
I think you're absolutely
This was an organized, thought-out military operation. We are at war.
Executed brilliantly, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brian, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, they just reported that there was 164 people killed on the plane crashes into the World Trade Center.
Right.
That's on one of the planes.
That's on the plane.
Yeah.
One plane.
On one plane. Yeah. On one plane, there were 164 people.
But we're going to be talking in terms of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands.
Anybody within the sound of your voice, and that's millions of people, are going to personally be mourning the loss of somebody they know by the time we ferret this all out.
A United Airlines passenger jet.
Sort of third person and surrealistic, but when it's all said and done, this is going to be one of our bleakest moments.
Congressman, I want to thank you for calling in, and if you hear anything, please call us back.
We'll get back to you.
All right, thanks a lot.
And you know, Howard, that probably half these bodies or more are not going to be able to ever to be identified, if they're even found.
I'm going to Terry Lieberman, who's our program director in Detroit. Terry, go ahead.
Howard, how you doing? I wanted to let you know in Detroit, tensions are running very high. The largest Arab population outside of the Middle East is located in Detroit.
That is true.
So obviously tensions very high.
Yeah, well, let me say something about that. I mean, listen, the people who live in Detroit, you got to understand something. The Arab population there, these aren't the enemy. It's the same way that the American Japanese were not the enemy during World War II. We know what's going on overseas. There are many Arabs in here illegally and who come over here on student visas and things.
Absolutely
surreptitiously. That's we're not talking about the.
This is not the enemy. Tensions are running very high.
It's going to do us no good to start punching out taxi cab drivers.
I did want to let you know that the Ambassador Bridge has been shut down, the Windsor Tunnel, so no one
Everyone's
is
on
being
alert.
allowed inside the United States or outside the United States from Detroit into Canada.
Right, the Windsor Tunnel, of course, connecting Detroit and Canada.
Yes.
Right.
GM World Headquarters shut down. That's the Wren Center. That is being evacuated. The Ford World Headquarters has also been shut down. So tension's extremely high.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Howard, I just got. They're watching another TV in the other
Hold
room.
on, Terry, thanks.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, that's
They're
Terry
saying
Lieberman.
that there's reports of Arab cab drivers being attacked in New York City.
Yeah, it's
quite
not
frequently
cool.
now.
Again, this is exactly what these people would want to
They
have.
want us. They want us to turn on each other. We
They
can't
want us
do
to
that.
look like animals.
Right. What is it,
It's
Gary?
no big breaking news, but courthouses, city hall buildings, schools are being closed in almost every major city across the country at this point.
Yeah, and right now, most of our affiliates are still with us. Phoenix, Orlando
You know
is
what?
with us.
Atlantic City's with us. Detroit's with us. Philly called us. They just break in once in a while, but they're sticking with us. They love what you're doing.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll stay on for a while longer then.
They're showing shots on Fox right now. Just people down.
Yeah, no,
all
I
over
the
the
strength.
place.
I mean, who the hell? I mean, where the hell are you going to go? It's just unbelievable. Rosemary, you're on the air.
Good morning, Howard, or I guess it was a few hours ago. But thank you so much for staying on the air and to your staff. And God bless you for your composure on such a devastating time in our
We don't even know. We don't even know yet how devastating
whole
this is. I don't think it's hit
devastation that's
anybody.
hit us, yeah.
I'm watching unedited video on Fox, and you're just seeing bodies on the ground. We've got to stick together through this and understand that there is going to be the retribution. There is going to be a payday.
Yeah.
There's going to be payback. There's got to be.
Well, again,
And our day
God
will
bless your
come.
composure.
Our day will come.
And it better be swift and strong.
Yep. Our day will come, and I don't think we should even have to risk American lives. There's a way to just punish these countries.
Tomahawk missiles.
You bet.
Nuclear warheads.
Right.
We have the most advanced military system in the world. We should be taking advantage of it.
And you got to ask yourself, how is it that all of these planes can be hijacked within the same 2-hour period?
Amazing.
How do you walk
They
a bomb
said,
into the
what was
Pentagon?
it, 8 planes were hijacked?
How does it happen? I don't understand. I mean, I know there's airport security. I know that I mean, how did they? This has been brilliant.
You almost wonder if some of the, I mean, and I'm not throwing accusations, if some of these hijacked planes weren't hijacked by the pilots who were flying them.
You don't know. I mean, it's just
because terrorists don't necessarily know how to fly 767.
And again, I say, they got 8 planes. Who's to know that they tried to get 20 and couldn't get them?
Right.
Wow. I mean,
And you must remember that when that Egyptian airliner was brought down,
How is
it
this
was
the
a
president?
co-pilot who took over the
What you're seeing is the president on TV now, but that's
That
from
was
earlier,
earlier.
Gary. He was talking to a group, and he just said he, basically gave a standard comment. He didn't really say anything.
And he can't because he'll say it out of anger, and we don't need that.
No, it's fine. Hey, the president, we're all behind him. Let's see where he's going with this.
He's got the greatest military minds that is left and right with Dick Cheney and Colin Powell. They were the ones who orchestrated the swift victory in the Gulf War.
Well, Howard, you've been an incredible voice of reason this morning.
Oh,
And
good.
Thank you from Orlando.
All right, Rosemary. Thanks. Yeah, we'll stay on for a while longer. This is all breaking news. We don't know any more than anybody else. We're just watching all the TV channels.
There's got to be 10,000 people on the Williamsburg Bridge, all crossing into Brooklyn now.
That's it's like out of a movie. It's
It's like, you know what it reminds me of? Like those old Godzilla movies where the whole place is evacuating and running for the hills.
Do you remember there was a TV movie in the 70s? I can't remember the name of it, but it was about a nuclear bomb being dropped in this country, and it's exactly what it was. People in
day
rags.
after.
The day after. It was people in rags walking across major bridges.
Yep.
And there are about 1 billion real stories going on right now. I mean, just making that phone call to find out if my daughter was okay, it's just my heart sank.
Imagine you're in a plane, and you know that there's a guy flying that plane that is not your friend, and he's telling you, who knows what he's telling them? Who
I
knows what
can't
those
help but
people
think
know?
that this goes on every day in Israel, and how Israel must feel that they have their hands tied behind their back, and they can't just blow these bastards out of the way.
I say we cut those ropes on those hands
that's
and
what
let
I'm
them
saying.
breathe.
Let them go.
Because I said, everybody says, oh, Israel goes and bombs us after there's a terrorist attack.
Yeah, well, why
Who
not?
are they supposed to fight?
Well, listen, I mean, you could. There's 6 countries we could name off the top of our head that harbor terrorism and encourage terrorism, and we should just.
But that's what I'm saying. These
Level them.
governments then hide and say, well, wait a minute, those were terrorists. It wasn't us.
Yeah. Well, too bad. I don't know what the response is going to be, because I don't know that anyone's going to claim,
How do you take credit for this?
Yeah, exactly. And
that's another suicide mission right there.
the noise you hear is behind Cabby, who is actually in Brooklyn, and you can hear what's going on. And he's seen planes go over, military planes. He's seen the World Trade Center go down.
Both of them.
And you can just hear that it's we're at war.
Yeah, Howard. Yeah, I'm like about 2.5+ miles away, and for a steady hour, it was the same stream of sirens. I'm just in my apartment now, so you can't hear it, but it's just nonstop.
James, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Howard? I've been trying to get in touch with you for a while about this. You know what? This has been going on for a long time. I used to be a New York City messenger for 20 years. I'm 32 years old, and I've been pedaling my bike now, for a while. I knew about them getting together underground, quietly having little conversations of putting a 5-point shutoff on the city. Now, when they bombed up the World Trade Center the first time, it didn't go right. They had bridges
And let me
to
tell
blow
you
up.
something. You're absolutely right. We've been hearing that guys like Osama bin Laden have been planning an attack on New York and on the Pentagon. We've been waiting for him to do it so we can respond. There's no time to wait anymore.
Well, you also bring up we got real angry after the World Trade Center was bombed the first time, and we grabbed that guy, the sheikh who we sent back to Egypt, and we broke up his cells.
Right.
And everybody then got comfortable
And everyone got
again.
comfortable. Listen, the death toll now is in the thousands. That's confirmed.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
I have 3 family members that are in that building, and I have no idea what's going on.
I can tell you what's going on.
Now, I'll tell you this.
Wait a sec. Yeah, what do you see, Tom?
There are 2 American airline flights unaccounted for.
Right.
Let me correct you. There's 4. We just got to report there's 4 unaccounted planes total.
Right.
When we had the chance and we were sitting down across the table with, what's his name?
Thank you. I gotta move on. I hear what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. Darryl, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you're a humble guy. I know you're doing a good job and all that good stuff, but let me just get to the point. I'm kind of worried. There's a woman named Marlene who she works in that building as security. And
World
I don't
Trade
know,
Center?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I don't know what happened. My wife, Christina, might have went down there to find out what's going on or to get home by PATH train. I need to get a message out to Sean, who works at Audubon Payne, because I know yours is like the radio station that's going on right now.
Give the name of the person, and maybe they can call you.
The cell phone is up, the phone is up, but AT&T won't let me make any calls.
All right, so who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Jesse and Samantha. I don't know what schools they go to. I'm out here in Jersey right now, and just to call me and let me know so I can go and
All right,
find
thank
them.
you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good luck. All right. Debbie, go ahead.
Howard?
Yeah.
This is Debbie Schlossel from Detroit. I'm a political analyst here in the Detroit area, and I can tell you that with all due respect to Terry Lieberman, while most of our Arabic community are honest, decent, law-abiding American citizens, there are Hamas and Hezbollah cells here in Detroit. In January,
Absolutely.
Customs and FBI arrested American citizens, the Boumelhem brothers, who were trying to smuggle arms to Hamas and Hezbollah over our
Debbie,
border.
let me be clear on that. I'm just saying for people to randomly go pick out cab drivers or a guy who owns a party store in Detroit and punch them out is not going to do us any good.
I agree, but I just want you to understand, Howard, that there's plenty of support for these groups. That's how they succeed here. And unfortunately, these FBI agents and customs agents are hamstrung because of laws on profiling,
I know.
etc.
Profiling.
That's true.
We are not allowed to racially profile, and we're not allowed to do. Our hands are so tied, and someone's going to have to untie our hands and realize we are now in a war. That there are people living here in this country.
But one thing she doesn't point out, oftentimes these people also intimidate the other people who live in their communities to get their support.
They do.
They're held hostage.
Right, they make them feel guilty.
That's right.
Yep, and we've got to really sort of. I mean, what the hell do I know? I'm a friggin' disc jockey. But the fact of the matter is that it seems to me, it's like almost like when you raise kids, you can be so lenient. For so long that your kids start walking all over you. Now,
You keep saying you cannot negotiate with crazy people.
Right, and you got to really just kill
You
them.
gotta realize that's who you're talking
We got to make the world safe for us again. Debbie, thanks for the comment. You're right.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, Debbie.
If Howard, you go to any mosque here, they have speakers like Farrakhan who support attacking the U.S. government. And
There's another
they
guy,
talk about this
Farrakhan,
kind of stuff.
talking about. Get rid of him too. Let him live there.
He wants to be somewhere else,
You go to any
doesn't he?
mosque here in Detroit, you translate what they're saying in Arabic, and they are openly attacking the U.S. and Israel. And the problem is, when you negotiate with terrorists, when you force Israel to constantly negotiate with suicide bombers and they aren't allowed to respond. This is what happens.
That's right. The World Trade Centers disappear.
And what do you think? Israel has done nothing wrong. It's a shtick. These guys are carrying on. They're looking for reasons to attack. They hate the United States. It's not about Israel. And they want to get us, and now it's time to get them.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of years
Look,
people have been fighting over that part of the world.
Right, I know.
Like Syria.
Syria is the worst.
Absolutely.
Syria is the worst.
We've been coddling Syria. Our State Department has been coddling them.
That's right.
For what purpose? You know,
you know what?
With Hafez Assad.
Syria is among the worst. Worse than Iran.
Yep. Same with Yemen. There's a country called Yemen.
Oh, absolutely.
And the United Arab Emirates and you know, even countries like Saudi Arabia, who we helped in the Persian Gulf, house and hide terrorists.
Right.
Kuwait. I'm sorry. It happens all over there because when it comes a bigger issue, when it becomes the religion aspect.
Nuclear devastation for that part of the world.
You don't want to mess up the oil.
No, after in about 5 years, after they're all dead, we'll go in and take our oil for ourselves.
Exactly.
You know what the half-life of that stuff is?
Really?
It's all right. I'll tell you, car will run better with nuclear crap in it. I'm telling you.
It'll sure go fast.
Wire reports New York City officials say as many as 165 bodies now have been.
There's got to be thousands.
165
Those are just the recovered bodies.
That's what they were able to find.
Have been recovered following planes crashing into the World Trade Center. That's just right off the top, and we don't know what else is doing in that building.
But this is exactly like one of those situations in some far-off country where they have the buildings collapse in an earthquake. We now have to dig under rubble to try
it's going to be weeks before we know the exact goal.
In there.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the devastation was.
Yeah, and you see a building collapse. It's 3 stories of the rubble. This is one of the largest buildings in the world. Times 2.
I'm getting a little bit woozy at this point. I don't know how effective I'm being.
Howard, if you can get C-SPAN, you can see the Pentagon, the collapse. It's unbelievable.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we saw it. What's to say? Are planes still missing?
Yeah, they said there are planes unaccounted for. I think
4 is what we just heard.
Yeah.
4
planes.
4 passenger jets unaccounted for.
Doug, announce the blood supply again. We anyone who is in New York who is able to give blood if you don't have a cold. I guess if you have a cold, if you're healthy.
Yeah.
There is such devastation that blood is needed, and Doug has the information.
Yeah,
Here
here's
it
the
is.
information. The main number, and I'm not sure if this is a nationwide number because obviously other cities need help too, but the number I have is 1-800-933-BLOOD. The website for New York is nybloodcenter.org. The locations, again, are 53rd Street and Lexington Avenue in the City Court Building, 168th Street and Broadway, that's 168th Street and Broadway, 150 Amsterdam Avenue on the west side of Manhattan, 67th Street and 2nd Avenue. And that's for people in good health right now, age 17 to 65.
I wish this was just a radio bit like War of the World, but it's not.
I'm going to go down and donate blood.
Okay, Doug.
All right, Doug.
You know, they just
Doug, I'm hanging up on you.
Okay.
All right, bye.
If I hear anything, I'll call you.
Call.
All planes into L.A. are being diverted to Canada as a result of these attacks. And there were reports that some of these missing planes may be headed to Los Angeles. So
Let me go to Tim. He has some new information. Let's see what's happening. Tim, go ahead.
How you doing, Howard?
Hey.
We got they just did a press conference right now. It's the head of Massport.
This is in Boston?
This is in Boston. I'm watching it right now. He obviously he's trying to answer the questions, but he's really sidestepping everything here. It's not
nobody knows what's going on. He's
not sure. He doesn't know what's going on.
No one knows.
He's asking, that people are asking questions about how he thinks that it's secure. Logan, obviously it isn't. I mean, 2 planes left there, fully armed.
I'm still reeling from seeing the pictures of the World Trade Center completely disappear from New York.
Yeah, there are no World Trade Centers anymore.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't even tell you.
how incredibly devastating that is. That's amazing.
2 of the biggest buildings in the world, the financial
hub,
World Trade. I mean, that's what it means. And they're gone. They're completely gone.
It's unbelievable. And the fact is that, I mean, even Boston right now, Boston's shutting down.
Boston, Cleveland, New York, Los Angeles, Philly, all the major cities are shutting down.
Pittsburgh, they had their...
Yeah, Pittsburgh had one of the planes.
And the governor have all moved out to Framingham. There was a big state trooper caravan leaving on the Mass Pike.
What are you hearing, Gary?
You know, I know you're exhausted, but I can tell you that almost every affiliate is sticking with us, and he has either called me or emailed me to tell them that this has been phenomenal and that it's very helpful.
Okay. I'll stay on a little bit longer, but I'm just starting to get dopey.
And there's really, what do you say?
What am I doing? I mean, What good am I doing?
I'm wondering where these people are all going to go. All the people that are coming into Brooklyn over the Williamsburg Bridge on foot.
I know. I don't know where anyone's going.
Yeah.
We don't know where anyone's sleeping tonight. John, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, I just want to tell you, you guys are still going strong in Albany.
Yeah, I know. We're on. All of our affiliates are with us, but I'll tell you, at some point, I don't think I'm going to be effective.
You're doing a super job.
I'm getting a little distracted by trying to get in touch with my loved ones, so I don't even know that I can concentrate anymore about this.
As far as how safe you guys are, for some of us that aren't familiar with New York City, where are you in relation to the World Trade Center?
Would you say we're about 7 miles, 8 miles away?
No, more like 4.
We're about 4 miles from the World Trade Center.
We're in the center of the island. That was down at one end.
Yeah, we're closer to Central Park.
Yeah, we're right near Central Park, and the World Trade Center is further downtown.
Is that the southern
In
tip?
the south, yeah.
So we're about 4 miles from there.
You got the best coverage, man. I appreciate what you're doing.
All right, thanks.
But be safe, too.
Later.
The World Trade was at the southern tip of Manhattan.
Exactly.
American Airlines is saying they have 2 flights unaccounted for.
Yeah, I believe there are 2 planes unaccounted for, right,
there
Brad?
could be more.
Yeah, according to what the newscaster said, Howard, it said that the 4 planes, or 3 of the ones that crashed into the buildings, and the other one was for the ones at the Pentagon, or the one in Pittsburgh or Newark, New Jersey.
Brad, are they saying anything about how...
Throw a bomb on him right now.
Bomb him now in the street.
Howard, they have
Drop a
kids in the
nuclear
street,
weapon.
5 years old, jumping up and down, celebrating.
5-year-olds. Those 5-year-olds will grow up to attack our children.
They're showing it right now.
Kill them.
If you look at NBA
Kill them
Channel
for
4.
celebrating. Kill them.
In their schools at 5
Look,
years
there
old,
they
they're
are.
being
There they are.
indoctrinated.
God is great.
They're all celebrating in the
Yeah,
streets.
like they killed them.
The Palestinians are celebrating in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. They're putting up the victory sign. Children are cheering.
They're cheering.
The parents have taught them well. Let them all live. Go ahead. Go ahead, and more of us will die.
Israel.
I think you know what Bush needs to do. I mean, he needs to grow a set of you-know-what.
We all know what needs to be
If Bush
done.
doesn't do it, he's gone. We have to get a
he's
new
gonna
president.
do it. I mean,
You got to
he's
get a
gonna
new
do it, Howard.
president.
He hasn't said much, really, Bush, but wait for him to come on and say, I mean,
Look at them celebrating in the street.
This is why I
is
say
World
you
War III,
cannot negotiate with these people.
They are so happy. They're so insane. Today, drop the nuclear bomb on them.
There's no reason for those
teach them
people.
a lesson.
Give them nuclear warfare. It's the only thing they understand. Like the bastard children they are.
This is terrible.
I can't even believe
my
that.
name, but on behalf.
I think it's great you guys are still on the air, though. You know.
I'm getting too worked up and I'm starting to say stuff. I got.
I really want to say nasty, awful
I do
things.
too.
I know, Howard. This is getting me worked up. My blood is
worked
pumping
up
right now.
I'm so
Somebody
pumped
said
up.
to me earlier, where do you think it's safer? I said, I don't care about safety at this point. They're
Right.
bombing my country.
Revenge.
That's it.
Revenge is going to be sweet. The thought that these people are celebrating the death of others. Please do something.
This is horrible.
I'm sick of seeing it.
It's one thing to strike military targets, but when you strike the heart of a city like New York,
I'm
and
sick
you
of
strike
looking
the World
at them.
Trade,
I'm sick of looking at them celebrate.
I can't imagine these little school kids. They probably don't even know what's happening.
They're
you
all
know?
celebrating.
With their
They are
flags up in the
taught
air.
to hate
And they're
America
gonna-
at the youngest age.
And they're going to grow up and kill our children.
Yep.
They're going to be worse than the parents. It's time to stop the madness now.
They don't even have to. They do it in schools. It's organized. The teacher stands at the front of the classroom and says, "This is a country and a people you should hate."
Look at how good the Japanese behave now after World War II. They're on such good behavior. We stripped them of all their dignity, and it's time to do it again. We have the power.
Now they just want to do
Exactly.
business.
This country has the power. It's time to show the power we really
Japanese
have.
now are playing by the book.
Can't be soft anymore.
The Japanese, they can buy up all they want. The Japanese can build stuff for us. They can be our servants. But we don't allow them to smile anymore because we burn the smiles off their faces.
Yeah, it just goes to show how vulnerable, even we're vulnerable to this.
You know, dun, 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 dun. Remember that? Boom.
is that?
That's that song in Hiroshima.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
You're not very
Pop
good
goes
at
the
that.
weasel.
You know where
look at what
George
they've
Bush
done
is
to
right now, don't you, Howard?
Where is George Bush?
George Bush is probably in Air Force One because it's considered the safest place to be during any type of attack. Because we can usually control the air, and I'm sure George Bush is flying in Air Force One with his advisors, and he's probably planning the attack right now. I would almost guarantee it by nightfall when those terrorists go to sleep.
Let me go switch to this phone caller. Joe is in Michigan right now. There's rioting in Dearborn.
Oh.
Who is rioting? Joe.
Yeah.
Who is rioting?
The Arabics.
What are they doing?
Billy, what are they doing? One of our friends, Maz, was leaving work, and all the cops have the streets blocked off, and everybody stopped. And I guess they're rioting in the east side of Dearborn.
Why are they rioting? Are they pleased with this or upset?
I don't know. I live on.
I would hate to be an Arab guy living in Michigan, law-abiding. They're not the target. They're not the enemy right now. And as that woman said before from Detroit, yes, there are groups sympathetic to the Hezbollah and all that, and we should weed them out. But the fact of the matter is that it's time to go to war.
But you do sort of understand what happened in World War II at this point.
You do. The internment camps of the Japanese. We didn't trust anybody.
No. Well, we couldn't.
We shouldn't trust these people. They come to our country and they take everything.
There, unfortunately, are people who come to this country and hide behind.
There are innocent people who are being hidden
Right.
behind, and they will be hurt by this, probably.
Let me go to this report on TV and just see if there's anything new we can learn.
And good day to you all. We want to go right to Tiwa Chang, who
Nothing
is
good
standing
about
by,
the day.
we are told, with Mayor Giuliani, who can give us the latest information on casualties.
That's who should be the president, by the way, Mayor Giuliani.
May have perished in this.
He would clean up in 5 minutes.
It's being called. Tiwa, are you there?
Yes, Jim, I'm here. I cannot tell you where I am because for security reasons, the mayor's office and the police department have moved the emergency center away from Lower Manhattan, evacuating the police headquarters to a degree, and they also left the emergency bunker, which is at 7 World Trade Center, right next to where the 2 Twin Towers were. I talked to the mayor directly. I rode up with his motorcade, and he said, when I asked him about the 4 planes that were in the air that were possibly filled with bombs or whatever may be the case, he said, that's not a problem. That has been taken care of. I don't know what he meant by that, but he said that is not a concern now. I also ran into the fire commissioner, Mr. Von Essen, Thomas Von Essen, and I asked him how many casualties were there. He said, I know many, many firemen and police officers were in those buildings when they went down. I do not know the extent.
I can't even listen to this. Let me tell you something. The image now is circulating in my brain of the celebrating going on in Palestine, and I am sick.
As these police officers and firefighters and innocent victims were crushed in these buildings.
You know, and the sad thing is that the initial plane crashes into those buildings brought down all of the emergency services workers, and that the secondary explosion killed them.
Yes.
Howard, the really disturbing thing about that footage of the celebrating in the streets, too, is the little kids holding up the peace sign.
Yeah, the victory sign.
It's a victory
That ain't no peace.
They think they've won something.
Richard, go ahead.
They're going to win the wrath of America, I'll tell you that.
They better. Richard, you're on the air. Richard? Will, he's with the military intelligence. Will?
Yes, Howard.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm in the Army Reserves, right? Yeah. And I'm stationed in Staten Island. I have a lot of friends who work at the Port Authority. We have these air defense guns that can supposedly shoot down a baseball. If you could throw a baseball from Manhattan to Staten Island, it can shoot a baseball into 4 pieces and slice those 4 pieces into another 4 pieces. Now, I'm just wondering, why weren't these things used in place?
I don't know. We don't have the answer to that. Todd, go ahead. What are you hearing? Todd. He was coming on. I don't know if this was any truth, but that there's Rhode Island is reporting a plane crash. Rhode Island? Anybody hear anything about that?
No.
All right. I don't know if that's legit or not. Mike, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, Howard?
Yeah.
My name's Justin, but anyway.
Sorry, Justin.
All right. All these Palestinians that you're saying, the terrorist ones, they're American. They're American Palestinians. They didn't ship them over and put them on planes.
Yeah, Palestinian. There are many Arabs living in this country who are here on student visa that are part of this terrorist movement.
I said these people had to be here for some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This
get shipped over.
Yeah, we know that. But I'm saying randomly going in the streets and punching out cab drivers is not going to solve that problem.
Why not?
Why not? Because there's a lot of innocent guys there. You don't want to do that to them. You don't do that.
That's exactly what they want us to do.
That's right. They would love us to become Sarajevo or Croatia.
And start to ethnic cleanse.
I think what we ought to do, though, and we've been threatening this for years, take them one by one who are in this country, and any ties to any terrorist organizations, we get rid of. Anybody here on a student visa, get rid of. I don't need them being educated.
You know what? We also should not let them immigrate into this country.
Absolutely
if they're
not.
Come from countries like this. We don't want you.
It's the
Public
truth.
executions, man.
Yep.
Put them in camps like they did World War II.
That's right. They absolutely should.
Those camps were real wrong.
Separate them, get
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
At the time we were at war, we didn't know. You know, retrospect is, people say in retrospect,
we were
Harry
wrong,
Truman
but-
shouldn't drop an A-bomb.
Oh, no.
Harry Truman was right. He knew what to do. What is it, Gary?
I'm just looking at this thing off of Reuters. It's saying that I guess an Arab journalist who has access to bin Laden interviewed him 3 weeks ago, and he warned of an unprecedented attack on the U.S. interest for support of Israel. And
there you go.
But I thought,
that's enough for me.
And they said earlier that he's saying had nothing to do with it.
Oh, you think he's a brave man, Tom?
No, clearly not.
But this is a journalist who claims he interviewed him 3 weeks ago. It's all for Reuters.
Pat, hi, you're on the air.
You know what? Honestly, guys like Bin Laden say this all the time, and it doesn't necessarily ever come to fruition. And
Yeah, but the point is, I'm crediting him with this attack.
No, totally. You know he did this.
Yeah, Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Howard. I was doing work on a rooftop in Jersey City, and we didn't see the first crash, but we saw the smoke, and as we were watching, I saw a plane coming in from about 3 or 4 miles out.
Wow.
And I had commented to the other guys on the roof. I'm sorry. But I commented to the other guys on the roof, and I said to them, hey, look at this plane, coming in pretty close, too. And I just said, oh, my God. I said, it's going to hit it. And as I said it, it just hit it. It hit the second tower.
Well, you're never going to get that image out of your head.
And it was, when it hit, you saw the fireball go past it.
Awful. It's just awful, and it's just ridiculous.
We've been too lenient with these people for way too long.
We have. That is the truth.
And that's the problem. You look at it our own
I've been screaming about that. I've been in radio 20 years. I've been screaming about that the chickens were going to come home to roost. And
you look in your own backyard, what we do to our own people, and we just smack them on the wrist. These people don't even belong here, and we let them get away.
Yeah, everybody. Our society has become too lenient.
But we've also ceased to be amazed that people will actually launch an attack in which they know they will be killed.
Yep, Elizabeth.
That is not amazing to us anymore.
Yeah, we have to just level them all out. Elizabeth, you're on the air.
Yes, I happen to be thanking my blessings right now in my grandparents' house. I was in my office when I saw this flying balls of fire and debris after a car crash. I worked in 2 World Trade Center.
You were in the World Trade Center?
Yes, in the 2 World Trade on the 35th floor.
Well, you were on the 35th floor, and what happened when the plane hit? How did you get out?
When the plane hit, it hit one, but we thought it was another building. We never had an idea that it was the World Trade Center. We only saw flying debris, glass, and balls of fire hitting our offices. At that point, we were told to go to the lobby, like for a fire drill, to evacuate the building. I was fortunate, for whatever given reason, somebody dragged me into the freight elevator, what happens to be right there at that moment. When we got in the freight elevator, the mechanic told the guy operating it, hurry up and push the down button, because this elevator is going to stop the minute there's a fire in here.
Wow. And
I'm watching the floors coming down, 35, 34, until we made it to 1. I said, thank God. Opened the door. I ran out to the concourse, the World Trade Center concourse, and all I see was mobs of people running, and the cops telling us to be cautious, but go ahead and run out of the building. I kept on running out of VC Street all the way up to Chambers Street.
Good for you.
And then, because when I got to Chambers Street, good thing I work out, I'm very healthy.
Right, you were able to run.
I know. I heard a boom, and when I turned around, I said, oh, my God, there's my tower. That was 2 World Trade.
Oh, my God.
That got hit. At which point,
let me ask you something. How many people were at work on your floor?
Let me tell you another thing. My floor, my co-workers are the actual victims of the first bombing. They were in B1 level when the actual bombing happened back in the 90s.
So when you say you got out, there was a lot of people still on the floor,
There was a lot of people got out because there was one space in the freight elevator. I don't know who pulled me in there. And usually the elevators stop because if there's a fire, they automatically stop.
Well, you are real lucky.
You have no idea. I have no idea how lucky I really am.
Oh, my God. What was your job at the World Trade Center?
I was actually the signs and the coordinator for all the signs and all the directories of the World Trade Center. I work for the Port Authority.
You work for the building, the World Trade Center.
For the Port Authority.
Right. Oh, my God. You are so lucky.
I tell you, I was about to call the secretary to see if she survived it, because she survived the first one.
Oh, my
because
God.
She was in B1, the first bombing. She was in B1 level. So was my boss. Everybody, all my coworkers were actual I wasn't there in the first bombing. I was only there now. I am so lucky to be alive and be able to say this.
Well,
I'm so devastated. The towers are gone.
Everything's
gone. I don't know what happens tomorrow.
Well, there's got to be retribution. Not even retribution. For self-preservation, we must attack.
I tell you, this is ridiculous.
And I said it at 9 o'clock in the morning when I first saw the news. I said, now it is their excuse. Now you finally have been pushed.
I mean, really.
Now let's not stop.
I would love to know what they're saying in Europe now. All the people who always
the rest of the world is laughing
How about I don't even care. I don't even care what Europe's saying. I'm saying now we have to make a decision.
Yes, we do. Yes,
we know the countries that harbor terrorists. Don't wait to even find out who is responsible. Why even let them into this
country? We should stop letting people in already.
It's enough immigration. We got too many people here. Enough with immigration.
Now stop it.
Stop it.